remember that now.
Oh shit, we're live. That's the first thing I said in the stream.
So actually, we were talking about how cute Bulbasaur was, and not Mr. Mime and all that weird shit.
Mr. Mime, did you have sex with my mother?
Yeah.
Oh god,
Anyway.
we're so weird.
I don't know who let us out of our cages at night, but someone is brave enough to do it.
I'm not in a cage. My wife is not operating under the pretense that she can control me.
No, neither does my husband, unless I ask for it.
Kinky.
Anyway.
So we're back at it with Monstress, who, by the way, you have become a fan favorite.
Have I?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it my use of the word chuckle fuck? Because I'm told that is like hugely like everyone's like, oh my god, I love that.
No, people just really like how fun you are. Like you have this you have this chaotic energy. You're like you have the energy of that liberal arts major at every university who is mainlining bang directly into their bloodstream and is constantly screaming about how this
First of all, I drink bang. Fuck you. I drink bang on Saturdays or Sundays because I do so much. I do like the gym and kickboxing and yoga and all that jazz. So first of all, I'm offended you would insinuate that because you're right. But it's even funnier because I'm not a liberal arts major. I'm a psych major.
I know that you're a psych major, but like,
no, it's funny.
It's you have the chaotic energy of like the dorm mom, the one who's like always worried about everyone and has like way too many snacks in her bag for any one person to consume. Like that's the energy you give off, and like I should invite you to my official community server because like a couple of people have expressed wanting to hang out with you.
I am so down. I am 100% down. Please feel free. I will go in there and I will treat all those lovely individuals like my children, even if they're older than me. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
I won't give you mod because I know that you're like already dealing with stuff.
Yes, but you know what? I'm hyped. Well, I shouldn't say that I'm hyped because I love the fan cord so much. Shout out to the fan cord, by the way. They're beautiful people. I'm so proud of each and every one of them. Whenever I go in and I'm like, oh my god, you guys, I love you. They're like, yeah, Monstress, I love you too. I'm like, yay! I love it when we love each other. They're such the fan card gives me just makes my heart beat a little faster, a little harder. I love them all. They're such beautiful people, such beautiful souls. But yeah, so that's coming to an end April 1st, actually. Although I still haven't announced it on the fan card yet. But April 1st, yeah, I'll be done. But I'm really excited because I'm ready to move on to the next chapter of my life, and that is my personal Discord server.
Yeah, you've talked about it before. But
it is an 18 plus only server, so
wonderful.
But go ahead. Okay, so we are on the topic of Slyfox today. Bruh, I'm so fucking hyped. I can't wait to talk more about Slyfox.
Because the bitch is back at it again. Once again, he is on his bullshit.
Bitch is back.
It's like he doesn't learn. Like, now he is...
I can't wait, because guess what? No, you know what it is? I bet he was really threatened. Maybe Monstress is going to come out of the woodwork. I want that bitch to give me the big steppy.
You're going all robot-y. Is your connection okay? Monstress, your connection's getting all robot-y. Maybe it's a problem on my end.
No, it's definitely my end.
You sure?
One moment. Yay.
Doobie doobie dooba doobie.
There we go. I'm back again.
Wonderful. So this morning, when I woke up around 10 a.m., I woke up to messages from you, Rouge, Baby, and AJ. all saying the same thing.
Here, I'm gonna bring my mic closer to my mouth. Is that better? I hope they can hear me better now.
Yeah, your mic quality is awesome now.
There we go. I just feel like I'm breathing into my microphone whenever I do that, but that's okay.
It's like ASMR though.
Oh, you know what? But that's okay because I'm told I have a great voice to listen to. So I'll ASMR the whole time. Just kidding. No, I won't. But yes. So, um, yeah, I actually, so I didn't wake up with those messages. I was messaged by one of those miners and they were like, "Hey, Monstress," and I was like, "What's up, fam?" And they were like, "So Sly is threatening me with suicide," and I was like, "Imagine my shock and horror."
And not
Yes,
just
Mia.
suicide, there's also threats of prison rape in there too.
Yeah, dude. Threatening a child. That must be his favorite pastime. So, I demanded links, although I couldn't get links, but that's okay because that was in their DMs. And I read over the DMs and was like, "Wow, all right, yeah, let's threaten children into silence. Sure, when those children have direct access to me and you and well, really the whole internet. Yeah, I don't expect kids to stay silent.
And then
So
threatening to put us all in jail.
please do, Sly. Come for me, baby. I'm ready. My body is ready to fight you.
Like, first of all, nothing I've done is illegal because all of it was public information anyway.
Yeah.
And second of all, how do I put this? I've been to prison. I'm not scared of that bitch.
You know what? I bet if I went to prison, I would also be a prison mom. People would just be like, "Up, there's Monstress. How you doing?" I'd be like, "Come here, baby. Let me, let me give you a hug. It's all gonna be okay." I'm just gonna radiate that. How did you call it? That liberal arts student who mainlines bang. I'm just gonna radiate that energy forever.
I don't
So
think you're
yeah,
capable of not having that energy.
I think I kind of go through ebbs and flows. I'm like writing that. Like I just got tattooed, so I'm writing out that high right now. Like I just got endorphins rushing through me, and it's beautiful.
I need to get a new tattoo. Join my Patreon, pay for my tattoos.
Pay for my tattoos, bitch. Yeah, dude. So it was funny because just a little segue. So, this tattoo that I got is actually a quote from Dishonored, and I also got my Mark of the Outsider touched up as well. And so I've recently there's been an upswing of a single person. Shout out to you, Fluffy, who's been talking about, oh yeah, Monstress is power hungry, Monstress is crazy, da 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 da, power, power, power. And I decided to get the words "an empire at your feet" tattooed on my ankle because, bitch, listen, I'm just a queen in real life, and I want everybody to know it. I want somebody to look at me and be like, "Yeah, I get that. I could see that." So that's what I got tattooed on my ankle today. But anyway,
Dishonored is a really good game. I completely condone this.
uh,
100%. I
thank
need to
you.
get a Mark of the Outsider on my hand.
Mhm.
I
And
already
that's
have the fucking Urkin Armada on my inner arm, so.
dude. I need to get. I have actually. So I have a panel on my wrist from Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. That needs to. I need to get color put in it. But I need to do a Zim one. But okay, so segueing back. So yeah, so that miner messaged me, and of course I was that bongo cat. That was like my whole like life right there for a second. I was like, oh my god, I gotta tell Patch. Because to be honest, I actually totally forgot for about 2 months there. I completely forgot Slyfox even existed because nothing had really happened. He was pretty much on the DL, and then he sent that shit to a miner, and I was like, "You're gonna blame a kid for your piece of shit mentality? Oh boy!" Oh god, it was so exciting, so exciting.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just. It's interesting how he's been claiming that, like, oh no, I didn't do anything, I didn't do anything wrong. But then he goes and, like, threatens to kill himself and threatens prison rape on children. Yeah, that
yeah,
totally makes you look more innocent.
it totally makes you look like a normal, well-adjusted human being. So when we got involved with Slyfox the first time. Slyfox actually threatened to kill himself, and according to literally everybody, and I do mean literally everybody, both his own Discord, his the moderators in his Discord, people who were his friends, people who are his friends. I mean, I think at least everybody who's met him at least once, they've all threatened. He's threatened to kill himself a couple times to me, actually, which is kind of ironic and a little weird, given that his public address is out there. So, I mean, you could just 5150 him, and 5150 is an involuntary hold. I mean, I don't. So I'm really confused as to why somebody would threaten that when you know that you can be involuntarily held. I personally wouldn't. It seems like a poor move, but hey, Slyfox, not the brightest human being on this planet if you're going to be threatening children. But what do I know?
I think it's up to one, two, three, four, five,
Oh,
six, seven threats of suicide,
and
including when
that's
he was confronted on possessing child porn.
ooh.
And
Let's
that
go.
includes
Let's.
today. So, seven total threats of
Oh.
suicide, according to public knowledge.
I'm sure if I tried to find my old DMs with him, I'm pretty sure I could find those as well as old Twitter accounts. I'd have to go look through all my screenshots so and see what I could find because I'd love to add to that pile personally. Um, but yeah, so
Honestly, if anyone out there has had interactions with Slyfox where he has sexually harassed you, used
mhm,
racial slurs, used homophobic slurs, used
mhm.
any kind of slurs, or has threatened to kill you or himself, please DM me at Patchy the Cat on Twitter and I will add them to the archive.
Did I ever send you? Um, I think I have the. I think I just downloaded the message somewhere. The one where he said that he wanted to send trolls after me that would make me want to kill myself.
Yeah, no, I have that one
Okay.
in the Sly Lashing Out. It's the
Perfect.
one where they have that fake phone number of yours.
That was, dude. I was really upsetty spaghetti that he didn't call that. I really wanted him to call it. I was hoping he would call it and just start like yelling to the person on the end of the line because that actually goes to my local PDD. And oh my god, I would have laughed so hard. That would have just I would have loved to have seen a Twitter post where it was like, "Fuck you, Monstress. I called that number and it wasn't you." Da, 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 da. That would have made my day. I was really upset though because I know Sly doesn't ever do his own dirty work except when apparently he wants to threaten children. But otherwise, he just tells his friends, "Oh, it's trolls. Oh, I'm gonna get trolls." It's always trolls. I don't know why it's always trolls, dude. You're
Everyone is
fucking
trolls.
lazy, Sly
Like,
Fox.
trolls? Why not hire some goblins? Get some diversity on that team.
Come on, like this is an this is affirmative action. In the
Ah,
troll, I want trolls.
it's funny because
Oh
he's a
god,
Nazi and he hates affirmative. Fucking,
I
he called
know.
me an SJW and said that me being a sex worker means I'm okay with people selling used panties to children.
Um, that's not how that works, Sly. Um, like the fuck it all. So you're wrong. But it's funny because so true story, and my husband actually somehow got it. Well, in his own way, got involved in this. So back when Sly was about to be banned from the fan court, his YouTube used to link to his Twitter profile, which was a huge reason why he was banned. And on that Twitter profile, I shit you not, this motherfucker sat there and said, "I would rather move to the UK where taxpayers don't pay for abortions." And I literally turned to my husband and was like, "Is this true?" He just started fucking dying and was like, "Absolutely the fuck not. He has no clue what he's talking about. He needs to stop." And I sat there like, "Yeah, I thought so. I thought so." So Sly is not only a degenerate of the worst kind, he's also incredibly ignorant. He's so bad. He was like super transphobic, homophobic,
He continues to
xenophobic.
misgender me to this day, which is
You know what? I'm not surprised, but I think, I'm almost convinced that Sly has, like, some secret humiliation fetish, and he really likes it when other people put him down, because I cannot possibly fathom someone continuing to engage in this behavior, knowing that someone like you or someone like me is going to go out there and give him the biggest steppy he's ever had. So, I mean, if that's your fetish, Sly, my dude, hey, listen, I'm sure that some girl would be more than happy to take your money and kind of slap you around a little bit. So you don't really have to go this far, my dude. Just,
This kind of
you
reminds
know.
me of that one dude from the zoo sadist thing. Babe, can you turn that down? It's picking up on my mic. It's okay. There was this one dude during the zoo sadist bust.
Hmm.
If anyone remembers who Kiro the Wolf is, there was a man by the name of Snake Thing who had a humiliation kink,
Hmm.
and he literally sent screenshots of himself indulging in child porn and sexually assaulting animals
Mm,
because he got
yeah, that's
off
normal.
to the idea of the people he sent this leaking it. Like he straight up
Oh,
was
so you
like, "You
liked
guys gotta
blackmail.
release this on me. Come on, blackmail me with it. Come on, I need it so bad." Like he straight up wanted to be blackmailed.
Oh,
So he
dude.
gave people the evidence of him being a zoophile and a sexual abuser.
So he really wanted to go to jail.
He just
Like,
straight up
that's all I'm
outed
hearing.
himself.
So a couple years ago, I shouldn't say maybe it's 2, 3. I don't remember how many years ago. It's back when I was still heavily involved in the NSFW side of Reddit. Some guy approached me and I was like, "Hey, I'll pay you to blackmail me." And I was like, "Oh, word, I'm in. I don't care what it is, I'm in." And this dude he wanted to engage in some cross-dressing and like actual cross-dressing and putting on makeup and paid me to do it, and I was like, "I will do this all day, every day." It was great. Didn't last very long, which I was really upset about, but it was hilarious, it was fun, and that is the kind of paraphilia that you can engage in. That is normal paraphilia, because that word is floating around a lot on Twitter right now. For those of you who don't know what paraphilia is, it is under the definition of the ICD-11 and or the DSM-5, paraphilia is non-normative sex, which means sex that we would find a little strange, a little unusual, things like masochism, sadomasochism, things like that. Um,
An important part of paraphilia is that most of it is required for the subject to orgasm. Like they
mhm,
can't orgasm
yes,
without it.
yes.
There are non-harmful paraphilic disorders, and then there are
Well,
predatory
there,
paraphilic disorders.
yeah. I was gonna say, and those non-harmful ones cause no personal distress within the individual. Like that individual enjoys it and has it they have no remorse for it. That is non-harmful paraphilia. If someone is harmed unconsensually, um, or if it does lasting damage or begins to take over your life, that is harmful paraphilia. I'm pretty sure um,
There's
there's
also
another bit in there. I'm
damaging
not sure.
paraphilia, which is separate from harmful paraphilia, where damaging paraphilia causes damage to other people, but
Hmm.
not necessarily the person with the paraphilia, or
Hmm.
causes harm to animals. So things like bestiality, zoosadism, pedophilia, hebephilia, things like that. Those are
Well,
uh,
that all falls under harmful paraphilia because regular I say regular paraphilia like that's a thing. So paraphilia that is not harmful is something that doesn't cause distress, doesn't harm the person in a negative way. Whereas harmful paraphilia involves usually either like an unconsenting individual, causes unconsensual harm, causes distress in the person engaging in the paraphilia, or with the person who is unconsensually engaging in the paraphilia, things like that. So that is harmful paraphilia and should not be confused with things like consensual sadomasochism or consensual sexual sadomasochism. That is that is normal paraphilia because it involves consensual individuals who enjoy that sort of thing.
it's also important to note that the vast majority of child abusers are not pedophiles and are not paraphilic. A vast majority
Yes.
of child abuse, especially child
It's a
sex
power play.
abuse, yeah, is a power play. usually it comes from a place of incredible insecurity and is a way for the
Mhm.
abuser to assert themselves. That's something I feel like I haven't been clarifying enough. Um, these predators that I go after, like Slyfox, are the minority.
Yes, they engage in those harmful paraphilic behaviors that, and it's funny because Sly actually exudes a lot of the symptoms, the remorsefulness, the denial, the unconsenting party, and it's been going on for an excessive amount of time. Usually, so the DSM-5 and the ICD-11 actually, they specify 6 months, but 6 months doesn't like from my personal perspective, 6 months doesn't necessarily quantify as a fetish.
It's the
So
minimum,
it is
but
the
it
bare
doesn't
minimum, yes.
quantify it.
Not in my opinion, only because I feel like a kink has to have been around for a while, and I don't feel like 6 months is a while. It's more like an exploratory period, in my opinion. But I am not a professional clinical researcher. I just look at the data and I just look at the information. But Sly has absolutely 100% expressed remorse. He does it, every other month when he gets caught and feels really, really sad trombone about the things that he's engaged in, or the lashing out, the anger, that sort of thing. So that looks like guilt. It looks like buyer's remorse, as some people would say. So that, and the fact that you have information that dates back years. People who followed him for years say that he's engaged in this sort of really, really negative behavior.
I think the
So
Moja Raka thing dates back all the way to like 2012.
yes,
Um,
that's what I have heard as well.
it's 6 to 8 years is the range that he's been actively engaged with it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you have I told you about the Solid Mario situation.
Yes, you did. I'm a little bit familiar with that. So yes.
Yeah. For the people in the chat who might not know, back when Glenn Williams Slyfox, whatever you want to call him, back when he went by Moja Raka, he worked with another predator who allegedly used art of Dora and Bart Simpson to prey on underage girls and underage boys and to groom them to provide child porn. We don't know if there was ever a conviction. This is all just allegations for now. I have no proof to it, but this is what I have heard doing research on Solid Mario. But he and Moja Raka were very close and would make material for each other.
And nobody was surprised. So, what I'm hearing is that a predator was friends with another predator. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like all of those accounts that Zuffa Police and was it Anti-Map Society, all those. It sounds like all those Twitter accounts those people list. The ones that have like the rings. That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I've been covering a
Like they're
couple per
trading.
day on the Sex Workers Against Sexual Abuse page.
Mm, that's kind of weird. My people's. That's really weird. I don't understand that at all. I'm sure if I did some research, I would understand it, and I would hate myself for having to read all the material. But um, why can't you guys just engage in like normal sexual activities, like normal regular adults?
Well,
Like,
paraphilias tend to be like treatable. I had a friend in college who had paraphilic symptoms similar to hebephilia.
mm-hmm,
I'm going to keep her name private for her sake.
mm-hmm,
But she started going to behavioral therapy. She was put on libido suppressants.
yes,
Um, and what they did is they used cognitive behavioral reprogramming therapy
mm-hmm,
to associate naked children and naked
with something,
teenagers with
mm-hmm,
disgust
mm-hmm,
and basically reprogrammed the chemical balances in her brain so that she would be attracted to other adults instead of to minors.
mm-hmm,
She has not experienced any attraction to minors since then. She's in a healthy relationship with an adult. Um, she's had multiple healthy, fulfilling relationships with people her own age. She's it's not a cure per se. It's
mm-hmm.
more just fixing faulty wiring, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but it is possible to get treatment and recover and like not want to fuck kids. Like that
oh yeah.
exists. It's highly experimental, but it exists and it's been proven to work.
It's funny that you should say that because in Barrel, I actually wrote a little summary about that. So I was doing research actually. I was having a conversation with someone in Barrel, and I had a whole like miniature essay that, of course, nobody gave a shit about. Fuck you guys in Barrel, by the way. Um,
Oh yeah, they don't
that
care about having serious discussions in Barrel, unless
that's
it's
okay.
Vita or Leo.
Um, but let me see if I can find it. So it was all like it was some quick Google research that I did. I had found actually two articles on paraphilic behavior and actually what causes or the likelihood of specific individuals to engage in that sort of paraphilic behavior. And basically, what it boils down to is that paraphilic behavior tends to in non or in non-neurotypical or in neurodivergent individuals, that behavior tends to come up in did I find it actually? I think I found it. Um, so it tends to come up in individuals because it is something that you learn. So this paraphilic behavior basically comes up when you don't blend in better, if that makes sense.
It's when you're
So it
not skilled at masking, basically.
Yeah. So, and because women are better at that social masking behavior, they don't tend to have those. Or just the neurodivergent women tend to be able to blend in better with their sexual preferences, and that's not to say that you can change your sexual preferences. It's just that they don't. They don't. There aren't as open about them, or they just don't engage in those behaviors as often as, say, neurodivergent men do. But I'm
It's
still
less
trying to
a
find this.
change in
Damn.
sexual preference and more they grow out of it more easily.
Yes.
Because sexuality is fluid and can change over time
Mhm,
based off of external
absolutely.
stimuli. Like, there was a time where I legitimately behaved like a straight person. That has long since passed.
I'm trying
Uh,
to imagine you as a straight person, and I'm really confused.
it was I it was during a time where I was very unsure of who I am, so I thought I had to
That's
be this
fair.
very specific thing. And so, because
Yeah.
that was the mindset I was in,
I
I
found
genuinely
it.
had like straight person experiences. But over time, as my situation changed at home and I
Mhm,
felt more desire to embrace like these other things about me that I didn't really know that well,
mhm.
I became more exploratory, and now I'm fully aware that I'm pansexual, not heterosexual. So
That's great. And so
it's not that I changed it, it's that I grew out of that part of myself where I thought I was straight.
yeah. So I actually found the quaint little essay that I wrote. Would do you, is it okay if I read it
Go ahead,
or
go ahead.
okay, so this was in Barrel. So it says, in my 30 minutes of reading, actually, this was two studies. I said singular studies, but it's two studies. It says ASD women, that's autism spectrum disorder. Women crave sex less often than their neurotypical counterparts. Neurotypical women crave and have sex more often than their ASD counterparts. ASD men crave sex more often, but have a propensity of choosing masturbation over sex. Neurotypical men report having more sex, but wanting it less than their ASD counterparts. Um, ASD men are more likely to show hypersexual behaviors that impair everyday living more than their neurotypical counterparts, and that there is no difference in this hypersexual behaviors between ASD women and neurotypical women. Neurotypical women and ASD women show no difference in paraphilic behaviors, such as pedophilic tendencies or frauderistic behaviors. And what that means is that neurotypical women and ASD women, they show the same rate of tendency towards these specific behaviors, these paraphilic behaviors. I'm sorry, these well, yeah, these pedophilic or fraudistic behaviors at the same rate. So there's no difference. So if you have, like, roughly 2% of ASD women who engage in those paraphilic behaviors, you will have roughly 2% of women who are neurotypical who engage in those behaviors. The exception is that neurotypical women show more preferences towards sexual masochism. I felt really called out by that comment, by the way. Felt really called out. ASD men show a much larger tendency towards paraphilic behaviors than their neurotypical counterparts, and this is theoretically due to the fact that ASD women are more likely to imitate neurotypical female behaviors and engage in problem-solving strategies than ASD men. So somebody who works with individuals who have special needs, and that includes individuals with ASD, what this means, problem-solving strategies are things like, if you are in a confrontation, can you talk that conversation down? Can you, if you're upset, can you walk yourself through the method of, okay, I need to breathe. Sometimes it's mimicking breath, sometimes it's counting, sometimes it's walking away and coming back. So um, ASD women are more likely to engage in the same problem solving strategies that neurotypical women, so they blend in better or they mask better. In fact, I actually wrote it out. In other words, autistic women can hide the symptomology of their ASD better than autistic men. Autistic men have a harder time reading social cues and cannot keep up with the demands of social interactions from their teen years onward. So, and the second study, I'm sorry, from that one study, it says that it is not anxiety that causes these paraphilic behaviors, which is what the conversation was about. It's the inability to read what is and is not socially acceptable. So, ASD men or neurodivergent men are unable to read what is and is not sexually okay based on social situations. So
I
that
would
was
like
just
to
from one study.
clarify for the viewers that this does not mean that autism causes you to be a pedophile.
Correct.
It just means
Correct.
you are more likely to develop paraphilic disorders
Well,
simply
no,
because
you're
of the
more no,
circumstances
not
surrounding
paraphilic disorders, paraphilic behaviors,
behaviors.
because
Okay.
having like like by this definition, I'm a paraphiliac because I enjoy like sexual sadomasochism. So
Behaviors.
therefore, but I'm to the best of my knowledge neurotypical. So, but an individual who has ASD is more likely to have problematic paraphilic behaviors because they cannot read social cues. And so they'll just keep engaging in that behavior because that's the thing that they like,
And
which
everyone
does
knows it
not
only
mean.
takes about 7 months for a behavior to become a habit.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
is there any research or data on how this affects intersex people, or was it strictly from a binary perspective?
so the two studies that I was able to find in my 30 I was literally reading these while I was on a hike. So the two studies I found, they were the most recent and they were the most inclusive, quote unquote, and that there were, I think, 3 or 4 additional surveys that were given, and that was to show that they did engage in paraphilic behaviors. They were, in fact, that the individuals who were being used as the autistic test studies, they were used, and then I can't remember what I think the other one was like, it was like self-reported hypersexuality, and then maybe there was one more I don't remember. So unfortunately, it was only binary, but that was only because it's incredibly hard to find um, a a specific number of individuals to engage in that sort of study. So unfortunately, I can't find intersex. I'm sure if I look on like LexisNexis, I could find something, but I will get back to you on that because I
Thank
have
you.
access to,
Because
yeah, I
there's
have access to a
not a
library.
lot of research on stuff like this is doesn't really include intersex people, even though
Mm-mm.
it's estimated that up to 15% of society is an undiagnosed intersex person because of
Hmm.
how a majority of intersex conditions are not
Yeah.
visible or do not affect the genitalia.
Hmm.
So we just sort of get overlooked in research about this stuff.
Hmm. Well, it's not generally that you get overlooked, it's that the information is so it could just be that it's hyper specific. It could be that um, there aren't proper questionnaires, proper questions, proper surveys, proper tests even. So when you engage in these sort of studies where you use a lot of self-reporting, you have to make sure that these tests are valid. You have to make sure that they're valid and they have fidelity, meaning that if I were to give the test to you and I were to give it to another individual who is non-binary, you would both have equal validity, equal fidelity, meaning you would have roughly the same either type of answer or roughly the same percentage of a specific thing. I'm not non-binary, so I can't really comment on that. But just from when
Well,
I
I'm not even
personally give
talking gender.
tests.
I'm talking like genetics because intersex
Hmm.
is something that affects your DNA. It's not
Right, of
necessarily
course.
neurological.
Well,
And I
so let's
assume that
get
these studies are based off of assigned gender, not
well,
on. I
let's kind of bring it back for a second. So we, at least from the best of my knowledge, because my knowledge could definitely be out of date, we recognize three sexes, and that is male, female, and intersex. Gender itself, and in before, gender is not fluid. Gender absolutely is fluid.
Yeah, no, that was my
Your
point.
gender, yeah, your gender can change at the drop of a hat. You could be outwardly feminine, but inwardly possess more masculine qualities or more masculine social roles, things like that. So gender is fluid. Sex is not fluid, but you are allowed to identify gender wise however you prefer. And before I get the whole like, oh, identify as an attack helicopter, da, 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 that's we don't like that is not a gender. That is not something we have no social roles, we have no social cues, we have no stereotypical um societal expectations of, masculine, feminine, non binary set to an inanimate object. So please do not use that. It will never work on me. You can't say I identify as an Apache helicopter. Seriously. You can't tell me that seriously.
Uh, the way I respond to Apache helicopter jokes these days is like, I mean, it's only our first time talking, so like, I wouldn't have asked, but like, thank you for telling me that you can't reach your full potential without at least 5 men inside you.
Oh, okay. I like that. I've never heard that one. I'm going to have to use that one or some variation thereof. But with that being said, so the reason why all of that was brought up is because someone tried to actually, this isn't just someone, this is some ones have tried to say that, and this individual knows who they are. Um, Individuals have tried to enable Slyfox by saying, well, Slyfox has undiagnosed autism. First of all, you are not a professional. Um, I'm in grad school and I'm barely a professional, and we have something called the Goldwater rule. And the Goldwater rule states that professionals cannot make a diagnosis based off of what they see on television, or well, this was new during the time when television was much bigger. Um, so you, a non-professional, cannot say, well, this person, Slyfox, has autism, and that's why he has, that's why he engages in these behaviors. Well, you don't know. Because I can guarantee you with 100% certainty that Slyfox would not be shouting about suicide or wanting to kill himself out in the open if he and I met in person. He'd probably pussy out and bitch away, though. I can almost guarantee that. He'd be like,
That's the way
abducted.
all of these predators are.
Yeah, no. So, it's as far as I'm concerned, until I see an official diagnosis, and not one from St. Joseph's Hospital, looks at you, Sly Fox. Until I see an actual, an actual diagnosis, I will never believe that. And you cannot tell me that it is autism, because you have no proof. So
And in
you're not a
addition,
professional.
for those of you who don't get the St. Joseph's comment, there are two St. Joseph's in California. One is a hospital in my city, which is 6 hours away from where Slyfox lives.
Hmm.
The other is a cancer hospital for children.
Yep, it
When
sure is.
when I confronted Slyfox in Park's server with Leo Convoy's help,
Mm,
we
this was not Park server. This was a different server that was owned by a minor.
ah well when we confronted Slyfox in a has-been fandom server, not the has-been fandom server, but a has-been fandom server with Leo Convoy's help, I asked him at what point what hospital did he self-admit himself to.
Because he claimed he claimed he was seeking treatment.
Um, and he named about two or three different hospitals, and one of them was Riverside County's St. Joseph Hospital, which is the children's cancer hospital.
Dude, I could not believe. I sat there like,
I'm like,
hold on.
I know you didn't go to the hospital in my county. That's 6 hours away.
I just, and I had words. I was not happy about that comment. I was sat there like, excuse me? Anyway, so I got those screenshots and was not surprised. Actually, you know what? I actually was a little bit surprised because I thought it was very strange that a man who claims to be a quote unquote American hero, his worth, not mine. Um, and I wish I had kept that message. I'm gonna see if I can find it actually on Tumblr. Um, a man claiming to be an American hero was threatening children.
Wait, why did he claim to be an American hero? Did
Mm,
he serve?
okay. No, please. No. The man's a coward. No, please. I'd sooner serve than he would. And I'm not even patriotic.
I don't
Um
even like the military industrial complex, and I'd sooner serve than he would.
I yeah. So what happened was is I was given a link by an individual. They know who they are. I don't really know if I can say their name. So I'm not gonna. Um saying, here you go, Sly is on his fuck shit. And it was a Tumblr link, and I happen to have a bullshit Tumblr where all I do is repost images of Ghost. Um, and um, and it's called, I think it's called Prayers for Satan, and called Sly Fox out because he was actually talking shit on you. I called him out for being a predator, for being a child groomer, and stating that basically everything he was saying was bullshit. I didn't actually read most of it. I just saw your name and was like, oh, I know where this is going. This man sent me a response at like 11:30 o'clock midnight. That's how I know he doesn't have a job because he's messaging me that late. Um, so stating that I was the equivalent of Kim Jong Un, the fan court was the equivalent of North Korea, and he was an American hero. And I literally sat there. I didn't read the whole thing, mind you. I really didn't because I didn't
Oh
fucking
my
care.
god! Monstress!
Huh?
You won't believe what I just found!
What did you find? Tell me.
Slyfox faked fucking text messages from me.
Oh yeah, of course he does. Of course he did.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. He used a 909 area code. That's
that's San
not. This
Bernardino.
isn't even my number.
That's so 909 is San Bernardino, and that's where he lives. How funny.
Oh my god, I
Well,
don't
I'm sorry,
even live in San
San Bernardino County.
Bernardino.
That's San Bernardino County. Let me
Oh
rephrase.
my
Mm.
god.
Yo, Sly, if you want to fake a number, why don't you use my area code 714, bitch?
He also
Come on.
continues to insist that the raids on his and Park's server were my fault when didn't I
Which is,
yell at Loke and the Bread Gang for raiding his server multiple times? Like,
so
isn't
it's
that
not
something
just,
that I yelled at them for?
yeah, that was actually when we spoke to Sly Fox the first time. I remember that situation. And it was actually funny because I remember when those raids took place. And I actively spoke to the individuals and told them that I didn't think that it was a good idea that they engage in that sort of behavior, not because not because I was trying to defend Slyfox or anything, but because I genuinely was concerned for those kids. They seemed to handle their own, so whatever. But it was not you, and it certainly wasn't me. But I gotta hand it to those kids because they were pretty fucking ingenious, and the only reason they were caught, or the only reason those specific individuals were caught because they were caught, was because they were honest about it. I still commend them for their honesty. And baby, if you ever, baby as in nifty, if you ever watch this, I still one of these days, when you are old enough, want you to be on my mob team because you are wonderful. I love it. I love that these kids stood up to Slyfox. I love that they're open and they're honest and they decry him and condemn him. And I love that a bunch of kids just took him down a notch. Like that just warms my soul. But going back for a second, so Sly sent me this really long message, something about the fan court being in North Korea. Da, 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 da. So Sly has this really weird obsession with this phrase, and I fucking love this phrase so much. I legitimately have a chat called it. And that phrase is tight clit rules. Tight clit rules. Think about that for a second. I don't get it either. I don't understand it. Um, but I love that phrase because it's just so wild and so out there and so Sly Fox. Like I said, I have a chat just called Tight Clit Rules. Um, I still don't understand what it means. He's used it three separate times with me, usually followed by calling me a dictator of some sort in some fashion. I'm waiting to be compared to Hitler. Like that's when I know I've really made it. Um, or like Benito Mussolini or Stalin or some other dictator like that. Um, oh, can I get compared to Nero next? Can I
That would
request
be
that, Sly?
fun.
Actually, I think actually somebody has compared me to Nero before. I don't remember who. Maybe it was Sly. I don't know. Or Caligula. Can you compare me to Caligula?
I once
Um,
got compared to Lenin because I'm a communist who is in a wheelchair.
well, I mean, all right, okay.
That's the. I think it was. Do you know who Instepius is? I think he's in Barrel.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
He's this like 12-year-old Nazi.
Oh, okay. Lit. Love
He's
12-year-old Nazis.
15, but like
Hmm.
we all say that he's 12 because if you're not 18, then you're 12.
I like that. I like that. Um, so that's a great comparison. I like that. It's very like right there. Like shit, man. You actually had to think about that one. Um. So anyway, um. So there's tight clit rules being called a dictator. He really thinks he's an American hero. Slave Fox. Just because your parents watch Fox News, you are not an American hero. I just want you to know this. Um. So it was just I that whole interaction really just warmed my heart. I love that even to this day, I really upset Slave Fox because I literally don't have to do anything. I breathe and he's upsetty spaghetti with me. I breathe and his white knights come, and that white knight knows who she is. Will come defending him, even though she says she doesn't defend him nor does she condone his behavior. But I found screenshots saying otherwise. Actually, yesterday when I was archiving. So, yeah, we are me and Sly Buddy. Come at me, bro. I'm still waiting. Still waiting for those trolls that are gonna make me want to kill myself, my dude. These nacho fries are great.
Oh, did you get the Taco Bell nacho fries?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Guess what I currently have sitting on my bed right now?
Are they Taco Bell nacho fries?
We bought 2 party packs from Taco Bell.
Yes,
That is why my
bitch.
stomach has been killing me all afternoon.
Can you not eat cheese or cheese
No,
product?
I just like it's the seasonings. It's the
That's
seasonings.
fair.
They fuck with my stomach because I have a couple of digestive disorders.
Mm, got it. But yeah, so I was I wasn't really surprised when I got these screenshots. I wasn't surprised when I got those TMs. But Sly buddy, listen, you can't call yourself an American hero and go after children. Um, that's weird. That's immoral. That's morally reprehensible. And also, if you want to get to those children, if you want to take those children down, buddy, you're going to have to go through me first. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Please do. Please take me down first. You and Fluffy can buddy up together and cancel me at the same time. Still waiting for my cancel video, by the way.
Part
So,
of me wants to just take a minute to go through the evidence archive I have with you.
oh
Just
shit,
because
Cam,
he
let's do
just
it.
because he's claiming all this shit like, no, I didn't dox Monstress, no, I didn't harass any kids.
Mm, to be fair, I don't think he had. No, no, no. Oh, funny story. Story time. You ready for the story time? You are not ready for
Yes.
the story time. So, that whole phone number incident. I think I've told this story to you. I'm not sure. So he was talking to someone at the time, and ooh, Google Drive time. So he was talking to somebody at the time. I can't remember who. And of course, that person was talking to me at the same time because they're sane and normal people like me. And this person was quote unquote pretending to be an underage individual. I say quote unquote because I know how old this person is in real life. And Sly was trying to figure out a way to blackmail me, actually blackmail me and extort me, because he wanted me to take down all the information and he wanted me to back off away from him. So I pulled some images. Sorry, person that I pulled these images from one of Reddit's seedier sites that I used to be a part of, and sent these images off. And Slyfox was going to blackmail me, except Slyfox doesn't do his own dirty work, so he never showed up. He never said anything. But he was going to send trolls that were going to make me want to kill myself, and that was part of that whole thing. Um, Sly buddy, if you're going to blackmail somebody, make sure that the images they send are actually them, because if anybody knows me, they know that I'm tattooed to fuck. I've got like 30 tattoos all over me total, maybe. So, if you're gonna threaten somebody, make sure that the person that gives you those images, make sure it's the same kind of person. So, like this girl looked nothing like me, nothing at all, completely tattoo free. I think she had dark hair too. I've got red hair, so mm, yeah. He tried to blackmail me. Try,
Really?
yeah, tried to. I mean, you can't blackmail me, but you know, certainly he could blackmail me. That would involve effort.
I'm just
Okay, let's go
taking
to
a
this.
minute to arrange some things in the right order.
No, please do.
Hey, are Park's pronouns she, her, or they, them, or he, him?
Honestly, I do not know. Um,
I don't trust
but
Sly. He keeps
mhm.
referring to Park as a her. Mm,
I believe Park is her pronouns are she her. I believe. I do not know for sure. I could probably ask somebody to clarify that. But the funny thing is that in all of this, I don't even dislike Park. I don't even hate Park. I'm not even mad at Park. I'm mostly just disappointed at Park because their behavior has never really changed throughout the entire thing. So Park likes to claim that I had this grudge against her because of I don't know, some bullshit or another. And Park is actually banned from the fan court for a number of reasons, and one of those reasons was defending Sly, but also because a user was having an issue, and rather than help solve that issue, um, Park was trying to make it worse. This person was having an issue with their mother. They were really upset because I guess they would normally get along with their mother. And Park basically said, okay, well, fuck your mom. Your mom's a bitch. All this shit. And said that this user should tell their mom that. And I was livid because as somebody who's taken counseling courses for whatever that's worth, um, that's not what you do when you have a problem. You talk you talk out the problem with that person. Parent doesn't matter. And this person was really distraught. And yes, I did go for the throat. I did call this person out in the fan court openly in front of people. And because I was really disappointed. I was incredibly disappointed because that's not the type of advice you should be giving somebody who is distraught over a crumbling relationship with a parent that they would normally get along with. So there was that. And then Park was like really upsetty spaghetti over the loss of a channel that used to be in the fan court called Has Been Theories. but has been theories was actually compounded um, to join has been related because it just wasn't being used as much. Wasn't being used as much because Sly was banned, but also because myself and the server owner at the time and the other head moderator and I had sat down and said, we need to start fusing channels together that aren't being used. And that that head moderator said, well, why don't we put has been theories and compare it together with has been related and just put that we could put theories and say whether they're canon or head canon or whether the information is pulled, blah 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 blah. So the deletion of that channel was in fact not me. It was the head moderator at the time. And that head moderator is really upset, Park, that you refused to acknowledge that they're the ones who deleted that channel. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Mm, let's see. Sly lashing out. Oh, yes. Oh, Jennifer Snooper. That was his girlfriend.
Really?
I believe Jennifer. I believe. Someone will have to correct me on that. All right, let me see how old this is. I don't know when this. I don't know when the screenshot is. Um, but this was his from his third eye Roichi days. Anyway, um, I doxed her number. Oh my god, he's
Yeah,
so
right.
stupid. He's so gullible.
It's just interesting to me how Sly continues to just lie and lie and lie about what he's done when all of this proof is publicly available.
Uh, 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 You're running a harassment ring. You're lying about me, and you also doxed my personal account. I think it's time your channel gets banned and these videos removed. I am not a predator. You nearly made me kill myself. You harmed my friends. You're harming yourself as if he gives a shit about anybody but himself. You're not an e-cop, bitch. You are a menace to everyone. Grow the fuck up, kiddo. You know what? You know what entails growing up, Sly, is actually working. Like Patch is a journalist and gets paid for the things that they do. I actually have real jobs. So maybe you should grow the fuck up, Sly, and actually get a job that you can keep instead of being fired, like your last job. Um, Patchwork equals Chris Hansen. No, she's the Jake Paul, not the Chris. You spelled Chris Hansen wrong, dude. God, I tell you that you're like a testament to the public American education system, but I know your mom pulled you out and homeschooled you. Um,
The
so
bitch did what?
So back in fourth grade, for some unknown reason, or a reason that is unknown to me, Sai was pulled out of public school. I think because he was being bullied, and he was homeschooled from there on out. So there you go. If you didn't know that, now you know. Self-promoted, constantly glad he isn't included anymore. You brand me for bullshit reasons. I didn't interrupt anything. You invited me to your streams. Fuck you. No, Sly. Fuck you.
I
You
need
told
to
me to.
find, like, there's this archiving site that some of the guys in uh Barrel and Limbo use. It's not Gyazo, it's something else.
For what? For
I have to
screenshots?
find it.
You know what? Fuck it. Cutting myself now. You're such a coward, dude. You.
Here it
It's
is.
Roger.
My URL is live and I want to archive its content. I'm just gonna real quick archive all of Slyfox's posts about me because I can't
Mhm.
screenshot them all just
Oh
because of
my.
how fucking long his obnoxious shit about me is, and then I can just upload the archived versions of the posts into the file.
Wow, this is like wild. It's not true, you faggot. Somebody a chink. Who uses that word anymore, by the way?
Racists use that word.
Neo Nazis. Neo Nazis and racists. I didn't know neo Nazi. Just kidding, I did. Yeah, you are. You're a neo Nazi and a racist. Sly lashing out. Testimony. Nix. Nix, you adorable bean, you. Sly. Ooh. Gosh. This is. I love looking through all of this evidence because Sly always like reacts the same way.
I just made a new folder for his Tumblr posts that I'll be adding stuff to later. Let me real quick.
I've been forced to confess about my past so that Tony can give you all back our accounts. The rumors you've heard of you making door porn were true. In my past, I made images and used roleplay accounts. I never had any intention of going after real kids or anything. But you did. And yes, the images are real. And my past came back to haunt me. Listen, it doesn't count as your past if you've been doing it for like years. It doesn't
If you're
count as your
still doing
your
it.
yeah, if you're still doing it. It's your present. You
Okay,
are
but
still current.
can we focus on the one right next to that one from the Rogue
I sure
Fox
can.
Pro Twitter?
Okay,
Where
okay, okay. So this is late. Oh, you know what?
because he
Mm, I
explicitly
remember this one.
admits to being a pedophile and a
So
groomer in
so
that
true.
feed.
So story. Hold on. Story time about this. I have a story behind this one. So the reason why this happened was Sly was so sad. He was so sad. And a user by the name of Whiskey had DM'd him. And I know because I believe I still have those DMs somewhere. Um, a user by the name of Whiskey had messaged him. And he basically Whiskey sat him down and was like, let's be real for a second. We know you did these things. And Whiskey, I'm trying to think of how to put this. So Whiskey called him out. Whiskey called him out, told him that for the betterment of himself, in order for him to move
Babe, did
past
you
this, in
just
order
rub
for him
my
to seek
back with
help.
your foot? I'm
Yes.
no, don't do that. No. I'm not into
No.
feet. Just because I sell feet pics doesn't mean that I'm into feet.
That is a non-harmful paraphilia patch.
I know, but like it's not my paraphilia.
It's
Just
fine.
because I sell feet pics to creepy old men on the internet doesn't like that's how I make money. It's not my
Now
kink.
I really love creepy old guys.
Beetlejuice was
Mm.
good. So,
So
Whiskey confronted
yes,
Sly and said, like, we know
with
that this is what you actually did.
so he was Whiskey confronted Sly and told him basically if he wanted to be able to continue to get help, if he wanted support, he needed to confess and he needed to stick it out. I believe I was actually tagged in these posts, but I had Sly blocked and Sly had me blocked. So the only way I saw those was because I was able to go onto the account while not logged into Twitter. Funny story about that whole post. I actually have corresponding screenshots that show Fluffy, our dear friend Fluffy, defending Slyfox during that entire thing.
Now, we have to remember, because part of our agreement with Ponder was being honest about this, that
Yeah.
a lot of the reason why Fluffy defended Sly was because she didn't understand the law.
However, Fluffy is
However, that doesn't
still.
erase what she did,
Hmm.
and she still needs
And
to be held
actually,
accountable for it.
so the funny thing is that I understand that Fluffy had a conversation with Ponder about this. But the thing was is that Fluffy was very much aware of the situation, was very much aware of what we found. I had had at least one VC with them, which I can confirm with screenshots that of the situation with Slyfox. So Fluffy knew why we were going after him. Fluffy, on many occasions, called him a creep, called him a predator, called him a pedophile, I believe. Maybe pedophile wasn't the word, but definitely predator for sure. And in caps lock said, "Oh my God, that's creepy." Blah, blah, and I can confirm this all with screenshots. So I honestly think it was just merely a matter of convenience um, that Fluffy decided to turn around and say, "Well, I didn't know the law," because I have logs showing that Fluffy believed otherwise shortly before she changed her mind. But I'll keep my opinion of that to myself, I guess, if I have to. Let me go find those screenshots for you.
I would like to have them, if only because I also am building an archive on Fluffy. Because, this ongoing shit isn't just affecting me anymore. Fluffy has also started harassing Leo and Spoken Mind, so Sarah is also on the receiving
What?
end of this.
Okay. Oh.
Hell, like, I've even seen
Mm.
Fluffy harassing Rouge, and that's not okay. Rouge is a delightful woman. She and I may have disagreements, and we may fight sometimes, but she's an amazing woman, and she does not deserve this shit.
All right, there you go.
Like,
It's everything that I have. So this is the same individual. Like that bitch with an X, that is the same. That is Fluffy. So, um,
holy shit. There's so much here.
oh yeah, dude. So funny story. So I was archiving last night. I have something in the ballpark of like 315 images, and I'm not even done yet. I'm still not done. There's still so much more to archive. But this is super detailed. I'm literally detailing everything. Every interaction, every testimony. I'm reaching out to people at this point, just to show that it's a cyclical behavior. But Chingy doesn't. Um, including the whole, oh, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Ah, da, 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 da. So, yeah, so funny story. So just before Slyfox had come out, I got a message, yo man. Funny story. So this was actually just days before Slyfox came out and confessed on, what was it? Or no, this was actually, sorry, this was a month later. So this was a month after his confession. So, yeah. Oh, my favorite part of these screenshots, by the way, are the ones where I got accused of editing Discord messages. Like I was accused of like, I guess like photoshopping. First of all, I don't own Photoshop. And I haven't used Photoshop since I was in high school. I'm 20 years old, for fuck's sake. Um, and oh, okay. So and the proof of that was that the text was blurry, but I use Gyazo for all my screenshots. So Gyazo's known to like nuke the quality of screenshots. So Fluffy, when I know you ultimately watch this baby doll, um, the quality is shit because not because I edited those pictures, but because I use Gyazo. This is the third time I've had to say that, by the way, and I told this to her in a BC call like a couple weeks ago. So that was fun. But yeah, as you can see, multiple instances of her defending Slyfox. Uh, what else? What else? What else? So let's see.
I
Slyfox.
hope you don't
Slyfox.
mind that while we're talking, I'm actively archiving Slyfox's
No, go for
blog.
it. Go for it.
It's
Please
interesting
do.
that he hasn't blocked me yet.
He's definitely not the brightest crayon on the box.
This is very much not the
But look,
sharpest knife in the
but look,
drawer.
but look who he's. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Oh, okay. So, oh no, Discord. Hold on one second. We dying out here, boys.
We really do be out here. It's just amazing to me that one guy could be so sloppy. Like, my phone number doesn't even have a California area code. It literally doesn't. Like, my,
All
my
right,
my
we
phone
are
number
back.
literally doesn't have a fucking California area code. So that's how sloppy he's being.
Beautiful. Mine does, and it's my area.
I've,
But it's not like Sly's gonna come find me. He's too lazy. He could if he wanted to. Um.
I just this guy's so
Mm,
sloppy. Like this is this is
okay.
this is the area code for fucking Riverside.
Um. So we're talking about Fluffy and bothering Leo and bothering Spoken. I thought it was hilarious I still think it's hilarious that Fluffy is calling Spoken a transphobe when Fluffy has literally misgendered you, misgendered Buttons, and misgendered somebody else recently. Uh, and I just thought that was really hilarious. So, and the only reason she's back to the cyclical pattern really quick with Fluffy. She so the reason why I was archiving all of like why I have so many images in those archives is just to show that she has a cycle of this behavior. And I told somebody, actually, I told my cross mod Discord the reason why she engages in this behavior in the way that she does is that she other than trying to play the victim card, which we all know she does, um, she she's constantly trying to punch above her weight class. And every single time it gets too hot for her in the kitchen, she cries wolf every time. And she goes to other people, oh, these people are mean to me, these people bully me. I went through her archive yesterday, and there was a conversation she'd had with Spoken about how she has some some sort of thing with her eye where like the more stressed out she gets, I guess like there's like fluid buildup in her eye, something about a microscope. I don't really know. Um, but I thought it was a really cheap shot to use a medical condition as an excuse for acting like a cunt. Because I actually have a medical problem myself. I have hyperthyroidism, and my hyperthyroidism causes me to have a heart arrhythmia. So there was a time in my life where my beats per minute was regularly over 110. That was my resting heart rate. That's how bad like the hyperthyroidism was in the arrhythmia. So if I stress out too much, I can actually go into cardiac arrest. And you know what causes people to stress out, Patch? I know that this is going to just blow your fucking mind right now. Being stalked and monitored for months will cause somebody to stress the fuck out. Um, so, Fluffy, when you watch this, don't give a shit about your eyes and give a shit about my life. So, if you don't want to be bothered, if you don't want your eye to swell up, maybe you should block people and stay blocked.
And like not shit talk us. Like
Oh, yeah.
don't start fights with people. Don't fucking try to ruin their reputation
No.
if you can't handle
That's
them fighting
for
back.
but Patch, who's gonna pay attention to her?
I don't know. Learn how to draw. Learn how to fucking play video games. Become a
Get
gaming
a
streamer.
get a boyfriend and don't just say that people like you. That was I think that was single handedly the most hilarious time I've ever. I literally saw that tweet and was like, wow, like this is a femcel in the wild. What the fuck?
I
I
really think that this bit that Fluffy just wants to have sex with Slyfox.
oh dude, they'd be
Like
perfect
I
for each other.
legit
They
think
could be
that's
neurotic
it.
together. They could be neurotic together. Uh,
Oh my god. There's so much on this guy's blog. I want to see how
how
much I can find. He accused me of being a pedophile at one point.
you
That's
know
something I
what?
found.
Insecure individuals totally insecure individuals will totally
Project.
project. Yeah.
Like
Oh my god, Takashi Zero. Fuck off, dude. I read one of Takashi Zero's is that's a Tumblr user. For those of you who aren't aware,
I know
I
who
read one of their answers.
Takashio is.
Yeah, but not everybody does. But I somebody mentioned them and I started laughing.
He's
Um,
definitely problematic, or they. I don't know their
Hazmat
pronouns.
Hotel. Bruh, I have never seen anybody fucking use that. Holy shit, that's hilarious. Hazmat Hotel. I wheeze. Um,
How does a show that doesn't even exist yet have such a fucking toxic fan base?
everybody says that. Literally everybody. Um, um, oh, so someone said, oh, so Xeno Dweeb, sorry fam, I did not see your. Feel free to comment, by the way. There's more image creation editing software. So the only image software that I use, other than Krita, is Clip Studio Paint, and I use it to draw. Honestly, dude, I would not know how to fucking I would not know where to begin with like editing image software. It's one of those things I feel like I'm becoming such a boomer when I say this, but like it's so daunting for me. Even Clipstudio Paint, I'm like, what am I doing? Oh my god, what the fuck? You know, that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I totally get what you're saying. But it's like yeah. Problematic. So Xenodweeb says problematic is an understatement. In my opinion, my experiences with them in the Ruby fandom is really shit. With experiences with who? Pray tell. I want to know.
Takashi.
Takashi. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
I have not had any experiences with Takashi O, but I do know that they're they use a lot of they're a lot like Barrel but leftist. If you get my drift.
Yes. Yeah. No. No. I know. I
Um,
know. I've read Takashi Zero's rants before.
one of his friends threatened to rape me with a knife once.
Oh, lit. Cool. That's something normal people say. Totally. You weren't turned on? How dare you? You must
It was all
be a
because I said
Nazi.
that fiction affects reality.
'Cause it does.
It does though.
It does.
Are you eating tacos right
Fuck
now?
yeah. Are you jealous? Would you like a taco?
I have tacos. I didn't want to eat because I didn't want the noise to be in the fucking stream.
Calm down.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just being a little shit.
No, it's okay.
Um,
You're allowed to be a little shit. We're making fun of Slyfox right now. It's fun.
mm. And I'm not just making fun of Slyfox, dude. I've been inviting this motherfucker. Like, bruh, you name the time and the place. You want to go to the next NASCAR fucking race? You tell me when, bro. I will be there. You cannot miss the heathen in the sea of good, like, law abiding Christians. I'm going to
Alright,
be there.
Slyfox, I'm gonna make you an offer. I own an airsoft pistol. You me behind the food for less. In Stockton. No. No, in Lodi. Neutral ground. Not my home territory. Uh behind the food for less in Lodi.
Lodi.
I will shoot you 3 times in the nuts with my airsoft pistol. If you do not fall to your knees and weep like a baby, I will leave you alone for the rest of your
I won't.
life.
I won't. I'll still come after
That
you.
was a joke. Jess just
um,
looked at me like, "Are you seriously saying that on a stream? What kind of dumbass are you?" And I'm like,
so,
that wasn't a legitimate offer. But I would like if you would like to come if you would like to come up north. We can meet in Lodi, and I can shoot you in the nuts with an airsoft pistol if you want me to, buddy. I mean, you seem to have a humiliation kink.
dude, you know what? If you do Sly, hit a girl up. I don't need the money, but shit, female fuck, you know what? Pay me $50. I'll humiliate you for the hour, and we'll call it fair and square at that point. I mean, fair and square as much as in like the I'll humiliate you and you'll give me $50. So if that's your kink, my dude, please by all means, just ask nicely. Actually, beg a little bit. I like it when they beg first, and then I'll humiliate you. Or you could just watch the stream and I'll do it for free. No big deal.
I'm
Whatever.
going. I'm gonna drink 6 bangs and half a bottle of Dayquil and fight him behind the Denny's. Like that's how much I legit cannot stand
So you're
this
gonna go. So you're gonna go into cardiac arrest, is what I'm hearing.
guy.
Like that's all I'm hearing.
Cardiac arrest. Bold of you to assume I'm not God.
That's you know what you're right. You're right. Um, yeah. I so the thing I really want Sly to understand. I want viewers to understand is that I really want Sly to get help.
Sly
I
called me a
desperately
slut. Oh my god.
actually Sly. I'm the slut, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't get me mixed up with other people, my guy. Like it's really easy to remember who I am because I'm the dictator. Remember, I'm the tight clit rules dictator. With I know that Patch and I have purple in our avatars, but come on, guy, we're like totally different people. Stop mixing us up. I'm the slut.
Man, I don't usually collaborate with like people like Internet Historian, but I would gladly get in a call with like I don't know the right opinion or somebody
Hmm.
to talk about this shit. Like TRO, if you're out there, if you're listening, Ponder, anybody, if y'all want to get in on this, because I'm sure we could use some bigger personalities on this case.
We're gonna always use big personalities. Like,
Like if y'all want to get involved in the Slyfox debacle,
and
the
it really is.
my DMs
It
are
really
always open.
You know what? Funny enough, my DMs are also open just for funsies. If you wanna drop a note to a girl, you wanna say, "Yo, what's up, Monstress?" My Discord is Monstress, Monsters. Hashtag 3031. You can just tell a girl hello, add me, talk to me. I love getting ran. My DMs are always open. You don't need to be on any of my servers. Just tell a bitch hello. Just be like, sup, bitch. And I'll be like, ah, you're from the stream, aren't you? So free to add me.
Hit us up. Like I'm willing to pass over my evidence archive to anyone who asks for it. Take
someone,
it.
someone says someday I'll get my own crazy fan base. I'll tell you what, the secret to having a crazy fan base, apparently, and by crazy I mean like negatively crazy, just be confident, be empowered, be yourself, be a natural born leader, like myself or like Patch. Just exude that like domineering energy and people are gonna be like, ugh, that person, power hungry.
The
Ugh,
best
that
way to
person,
get like
evil tyrant.
conflicts I've noticed is to have an opinion and then stand firm about it. Like that's the way to get people to hate you apparently is to
Have
have like opinions.
mhm, and express them openly, outwardly. Hmm.
All
And
right.
then make God, what was I saying?
No, I am almost done archiving all of these
Oh
dumb
yeah.
shit posts Sly has made about us.
I love it. Is
God,
there
what a
anything about me?
pussy.
Is there anything about me? Please tell me else. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be really
no,
sad.
there's a lot of stuff about you. Usually when
Yay!
he posts about me, he also posts about you.
Yes. I'm so glad I haven't been forgotten.
He's definitely called you a whore multiple times.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you so much. I love that you called me a whore. I do prefer the term cunt. Like, I tell this to everybody. If you're gonna call me something, please call me a cunt. That is like my favorite name.
If you're
It's
gonna
very
call me
poignant.
something, call me over for dinner so I can fuck your mom.
Well, okay, okay, Badge, calm down.
I'm gonna
That's
fuck
too
your mom,
far.
Sly. I'm gonna be your new stepdad, and there's nothing you can do about it.
God damn it, Patch. Jesus.
I'm gonna be your stepdad, and the first thing I'm gonna do is take down your internet.
Um, what is this?
Oh, he tried to use the zoophile police drama, but doesn't once
But
mention the fact that
doesn't
Balana was a 16-year-old girl who tried to suicide
know.
bait.
Because that takes effort that he's not willing to waste. Please, come on.
He just loves lying.
Listen, what have I told you? When you said your expectations for Slyfox, you need to literally put them on the ground so that just picking them up is a fucking miracle. Come on. The day I'll be impressed with, well, actually, every day that goes by that Slyfox, like, doesn't cry about me, that's a miracle. Although I'm honestly truly convinced, and Sly, if this is true, please just tell me, bro. Like, I'm convinced that whenever Sly is upset with me or upset about me or looks in my direction because I'm breathing or I exist, um, I think that he's really just kind of jealous because I exude everything that he can never have. That is confidence, feeling of self worth, a high self
Joy,
esteem,
pleasure, happiness.
joy. I'm going somewhere with my life. I'm
A
not stuck in
fulfilling
some,
relationship with another competent
yeah,
human being.
yeah, a sane, normal, competent human being. I have friends who love and appreciate and adore me. Shout out to the fan court again for being wonderful people. We've got a fan court full of wonderful human beings. Um, things that he could never have. And the sad part is that the Discord that he's in, it's not his Discord, it's Park's Discord. So he
Park
doesn't even
buddy, if you ever want to like switch sides and come to the light, like if you want to leave the Sith and come be a Jedi, we're right here.
Well, I
The
don't know about
minute you
okay,
come to your senses, just come to me and we'll talk.
broski. Like, I ain't even mad at you, Park. I want you to know, I'm really just disappointed because you seem like you could be a really cool human being. Um, but I really don't want pedophile enablers in my Discord. So either my personal or in the fan cord. So just get rid of the dead weight. Maybe get yourself a little bit of help. Talk to a therapist. With that being said, Sly, just if you want to confess your love to me, just do it, dude. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. Actually, I will. I'll judge you really hard. I'll judge you no matter what you do, and I'm gonna laugh every single time. So yeah. and
All
bef-
right.
and before we get another like, oh, you're gonna go to jail. Oh, this, that. I'm just stating opinions, my dude. Opinions based on screenshots of you talking to children, of your internet search history, of your sick and disgusting role plays as Dora the Explorer, talking about inappropriate subjects that children do not talk about and should not talk about, your little Twitter roleplay history of role playing with yourself. Yeah, I've seen it all, buddy. You're a wackadoo for sure.
And we have your email now. We have your Google search history. I have everything up to September of last year. I
Not
have everything. I have evidence of you encouraging people to false flag me. I've got everything, Sly. You're done. You're over with. The minute I get the chance to put you behind bars, I will laugh. I will weep with joy. I don't care how long it takes or what I have to do to put you in prison or a mental ward for the rest of your life.
your catnip patch.
I just. I don't. There is very little that I won't do to see this man punished for what he's done. I wouldn't sacrifice my marriage or my life over it because he's not worth it. But,
So
like, dude, you're done. The game's over.
the game never started. You are playing by yourself, friend.
There's no way to fight this. I have too much evidence against you.
You've just fucked up too much, my dude. That's all there is to it. You fucked up, and no amount of white knighting, no amount of people trying to come to your aid to tell me that, oh, I'm a monster. Like that's let's kind of delve back here for a second. I could count. I couldn't count actually. Thank you. I couldn't count on the number of times I've had someone come in to my DMs from his server and say, "Hey, can I talk to you about Slyfox?" And I've always, 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 always welcomed somebody with open arms to talk about Slyfox because I'm not afraid of Slyfox at all. Um, and every single time that somebody's come into my DMs asking about this, after we've had that conversation, that person inevitably tells me, "You are not the person Sly makes you out to be." I don't know what he says about me. I've heard things, kind of like general overarching things, something about being a tyrant, da 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 da. Um, but every single time people walk away saying, "You're not that person. You are not who he makes you out to be. You're nice, calm, you're you're welcoming," and inevitably those people end up in my fan court, and they end up becoming super productive members of the fan court and just being really open and very sweet and kind-hearted people. And it's really upsetting because I'm genuinely afraid that some of the people in his server um, will become like him because they think that it's okay. And I don't want those people to feel like just because they're afraid of me or scared of me or afraid of the fan cord because they hear rumors or some shit, bruh, just come talk to me. Come talk to me. Go talk. And you don't want to talk to me? Talk to my staff members. You can message any of my admins. You can message me, Kino, Golden, and they'll talk to you about Slyfox if you don't feel comfortable talking to me. And you are always welcome in the Discord. Always. I will never turn somebody away who is from Slyfox's Discord. I'm sorry, it's not Slyfox's Discord. Park Riders Discord. Um, I just want to assert that that man does not deserve any power because, you know, it's not his Discord. So, um, yeah, it's just I would love to know um, what the things that he says about me are, um, because everyone just walks away like I don't understand where he's coming from. So, buddy, if you're going to be pissy with me for a reason. Don't make shit up because the second anybody comes talking to me, they realize that you're actually the piece of shit,
And I
not
can.
me.
The thing I'm most angry about is that Slyfox, like, falsely accused me of sending death threats and harassing him over text, and that's not
Hmm.
even my number. Like, he couldn't even be asked.
Mm, yeah, but that
Like,
takes
that's
effort,
so
Patch.
obviously not fucking me, and it's so frustrating to me. Cause like I could
I
go to the cops with that.
mhm.
In fact, I think I will.
I I don't know, dude. I'm glad he's doing at least some of his own dirty work though. That I mean, it shows initiative for sure. Like, congratulations,
I wish
you
his
finally
initiative.
grew.
He can take his initiative and shove it up his ass.
How about he takes his initiative and goes gets therapy like a normal human being? Death threats. Come the fuck on, dude. Can you at least come up with something believable? Jesus Christ. I'd love to point out again, for those of you who have not been here for this entire stream, Slyfox was actually 5150 by my team the night that we recorded him. I believe the second time. It was the second time, which means we called the police on him and asked for a welfare check because he had threatened to kill himself. Don't I don't personally want Slyfox to die. I want him
Neither do
to
I. I want him to face justice.
I want him to face justice. I want him to get the court ordered therapy that he so sorely needs. And I want him to spend a little bit of time in jail for the things that he has done, for the people, the children that he's hurt, for the children he's currently threatening. Um, yeah, Slyfox, you can't threaten kids. You really can't.
It's so
And,
exhausting. This thing has been going on for over a year now.
yeah,
Like, this, specifically you and me going after him, has been going for over a year now. And I have tried
don't
so
diddle kids
hard.
either. Sorry.
All I want
Someone,
is for him to, like, hell, 15 years in prison and a chemical castration, and then you're good, buddy. Like, I'll leave you alone. As long as I know
um,
he's been punished and he's
oh
not gonna
shit.
hurt any more kids, I'll be happy.
So, Zeno Dweeb asks, so the people claiming you nerds, thank you for using that. Thank you for calling me that because I use that term literally all the time. So the people claiming you nerds are editing screenshots. Actually, no, that's not what's happening. So, um,
Basically,
the
he made a second phone number.
which you can do on I think it's Google Voice.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
he texted himself. But he didn't bother changing the area code to
Mm-mm.
even the area I live in. Because, like, I'm open that I live in San Joaquin County. I don't give people my actual address or area of residence. But I do Stockton Con. I go to, like, local conventions and I vend. I'm very open about, like, the fact that I'm a Central California resident. And he used a SoCal area code.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even use the area code for my county. Like, it's that, and the area code for my county isn't the area code on my actual phone number, so even if he had, he wouldn't have gotten it right. I am willing to hand over my phone to the police and like show them, yeah, here, look. I've never texted him in my life. You can look through my text messaging records through what's our phone service, babe? Sprint. Like you can Riverside Police, if you want to contact Sprint and get my texting history, go for it. Like I've never texted Slyfox. I don't have his phone number. I've never had his phone number. I don't know what it is. All I have is his address. Because the dumbass posted his fucking
He's doxed his address before.
he posted a picture of his goddamn driver's license on his old Instagram. Instagram!
Um,
Uncensored! Just like fucking Grizzly the Medic. He also posted it on like a bunch of his other social media. And he gave a picture of it to the same person he gave his login on Google. He handed it to the bread gang. He's like, here you go. Like, fucking.
Actually, so for clarity, he did not give us, at least not me, and as far as I know, not Patch, his Google login. He gave it to somebody else who is the one who was able to get all the information for his,
Yeah,
like,
no,
his
it was
internet.
given to a member of the bread gang, who were the original team to investigate Slyfox. Um, when he did that in a public communal area, which technically means that he made it publicly accessible. Which is why I'm allowed to have it, and it's not considered illegal. And it's already been published. I already released everything. Because
Ooh.
Fluffy was publicly demanding evidence and trying to get my friends involved in this stupid drama. Tried to get FNGR involved, tried to get him to agree to do a stream on me. That was hilarious.
So,
Fluffy chickened out, which is why we never were able to reach out to you, Monstress.
oh no, it's fine.
That's why that
It's
never
funny.
happened, is because Fluffy is a pussy.
No, it's fine. It's funny because I'm on their shout out Fluffy, by the way. Um, I'm on their Twitter account right now. Just
Which one?
screenshotting Fluffy 2 cents. And it's funny because she keeps using my real name as if anybody's going to know that. As if anybody's going to know my real name. Um, so I'm always really confused. It's honestly truly confusing. Like, I'm sorry. So I was thinking to myself, so she keeps using my real name, but nobody really knows my real name, and just saying my real name isn't going to clue anybody in as to who I am. But she keeps using it anyway. So I'm just getting screenshots because like I said, I was archiving everything. Okay,
It's
yeah,
spelled FLUFFYS 2 cents.
yeah. Let me get that for you.
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. So if you guys weren't here for the last stream that I did with Patch, um, or you are unfamiliar with Patch, as somebody who oh cool. So hi Xenodude. So Fluffy is an individual who has a history of stalking individuals um, based on they claim it's their OCD, which makes them obsess over problems. But so this person's been stalking me to the best of my knowledge since honestly from the screenshots I would say probably since either from the beginning of October or even late September, back before I knew that there was a problem. Um and they yeah, Fluffy. So that who's FNGR? Um someone asked who's FNGR. So Fluffy has defended Slyfox on a number of occasions, and for the sake of clarity, she claims it's because she didn't know the law. I disagree with that statement, but whatever. And they are not banned from Discord. They've been banned from my fan court 4 times, and it's all for harassment and stalking. Before me, she was stalking a user on a different Discord whose name I'm not going to give out. Before that, she was stalking an individual by the name of Salem. Before that, it looks like she was stalking a different individual until she got chased off of her RP Twitter account, one of her RP Twitter accounts. But she has a history, a cyclical history. Every couple months, she tries to find somebody new to stalk because she fucks up in some way, and rather than shirk responsibility, she does the same thing that Slyfox does. Actually, she apologizes and then she denies anything ever happened. Um, so we've kind of been in this pissing match, I guess you would call it, for the better part of maybe a month, I would say. Yeah, but the better part of a month, maybe a little bit over a month. Um, and she swears that I monitor her and that I've been stalking her. Um, but she's doxed herself twice on Twitter. And I know this because I have a screenshot of someone who had doxed her information but didn't tag her. They didn't tag her in any way, shape, or form. And then she went and she commented on it on 3 different accounts, although one of those tags was deleted. So she doxed herself, and um, I wasn't sure how long it'd be going on for. So I actually filed a complaint with her school, stating that she had been stalking me for an indeterminate amount of time. The stalking didn't stop. There was a supposed understanding and ceasefire, and this is the first ceasefire patch, not the second one. And within Oh my gosh. So the agreement was that we would do this VC, she would understand, and then she would take down everything that she said. She never did. She never took down any of the lies or the bullshit that she said. It was a whole thing. And so she thought she could punch above her weight class. So she's tried to go after Leo Convoy. She's tried to go after Spoken Mind. She kept saying she wants to do a one-on-one VC with Leo, and then she pussied out when it came time to it. And she was supposed to VC me on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, and she never bothered to VC me, saying she was too busy with homework, but she wasn't too busy to continue to have an argument with Spoken, or bullshit about me. She keeps using my real name. I'm not really sure why, because nobody knows me by that name. Nobody knows me by my real name. If you know me by Mon, or you know me by Liv. So I'm really confused as to why she keeps using my real name, because nobody's going to know who she's talking about. I prefer if they knew who she was talking about, because at least then they would have some context clues, and then they can know who to talk to. But yeah,
But that's the thing. She doesn't want people to have context or be able to
no,
ask you for your side of the
mm-mm,
story. She wants to
no,
punish you for calling her out on being a self obsessed, self absorbed, narcissistic abuser.
yeah.
Because that's what she is. She's gaslighting victims
Hmm.
constantly. She's been trying to gaslight me.
Funny.
Hell, like it took the fucking lead investigator for the Zoophile police, Officer Wendigo, shout out to Wendy, I fucking love you, bitch. Um, it took Wendy like sitting Fluff down and being like, "No, listen, you don't understand. Patch was falsely accused. Bellana was a child who was exposing herself to child porn and bestiality. This
Hmm.
situation was full of like literal crimes. You don't know anything. Shut up." Like it took someone who was directly involved who wasn't me, like a third party, to sit Fluffy down and very slowly and meticulously explain it to her like a fucking 12-year-old. This woman is 26 years old and she had to be talked to like a child. Like, and she
I'm
still won't
sorry.
leave us alone. And she keeps saying that I rely on Beryl and Limbo and like all of these, oh, the problematic, racist, ableist fucking people to do my dirty work, when like the day I got fired from the Zoophile police and Valana started spreading all these like lies about me that were made
I
up
like
by certain
Fluff.
people.
Fluffy's trying to call herself an outsider in the whole button situation, but if she were an outsider, she wouldn't have stuck her nose where it didn't fucking belong.
Exactly.
Um,
But like as I was trying to say, the day that the Zoophile police drama happened, I was already talking to you and Hellboy about the situation.
oh yeah.
I hadn't
As
even said anything about it in limbo.
here's
And
here's a tweet for an hour ago on that situation, by the way. Um, what I'm trying to tell you is, all is don't resort to targeted harassment and cyberbullying someone you don't like. It's petty, unhealthy, cruel, and can lead to dire consequences. As with the Balana incident, which she was not a part of in any fashion, I never said Balana has the right to be exposed to pedophilic and zoophilic content. Actually, you did. You did when you said that Balana had the right to be on the Zoophile Police Twitter account, which exposes individuals to pedophilic and zoophilic material. So actually, you did say that. So you're wrong. Leo misinterpreted my tweet and jumped the gun. No, that's you, sweetheart. You do that literally anytime everybody talks to you. What I said was Balana has the right to stand up against pedophiles and zoophiles. Actually, you said that Balana has the right to stand up to pedophiles and zoophiles on Zoophile Police. So let's get that right. It wasn't until the admin of ZPD told me the full story of what happened. We told you the full story and we provided information. So please stop lying. Such a lying little cunt. Um, Behind the scenes, that made me fully understand that Leo and his gang didn't report Balana to her parents just to be petty cyberbullies. Actually, we did report her to her parents
no, that
because.
we didn't do it to be cyberbullies, that we
Uh,
did it for her protection. You should. I already
oh,
read this thread.
oh, see, I didn't read
She's
this thread
admitting
yet.
that she was wrong about why we reported Balana to her mother.
I got ableism claims. Claim away from the. Oh, is there a video about me? Oh my god! Fuck! Is there a video about me? Can I please have that link?
I don't know.
Oh, dude, no. Somebody said, Kino Dweeps, or no, sorry, Xeno Dweep says, I don't get the ableism claims from them because, like, I'm correctly remembering from the. So okay, so oh maybe okay, so the ableism claims. So here is
Oh,
the
the
two.
videos are the ones I did with you and Hellboy about Fluffy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Okay, so the ableism claim comes from a conversation. So I work with individuals with special needs, and the special needs range from everything from autism to
We
muscular
don't
dystrophy
actually
to
like
cerebral
being called
palsy.
special needs, just so you know.
No, I know, but that is the all-encompassing
You could
like
just
that's.
say that you work with neurodivergent. Like I'm saying
But
this as a
it's
friend. Using that term
but
is
it's but it's more than
I
just.
don't care. It's we don't like it. It
And
makes
that's fine, and I understand, but I can't say neurodivergent because it's more than neurodivergent.
I'm saying neurodivergent and disabled, or you could say non-neurotypical, non-abled. Just don't. I'm asking you as a friend. Don't use that
No, I
term on
know.
my channel.
I'm trying to come up with a. I'm trying to. I'm gonna I'm gonna think about the word to use because I don't like any of those words because I don't feel like they're all encompassing enough. If that makes sense, I would prefer to find a term that's a bit more all encompassing. So if you could help me find that, I could totally switch that
Well,
language.
the community as a whole prefers disabled and neurodiverse. Disabled, neurodiverse, and mentally ill, or different needs, or differently able.
I I can use different needs. I can use
Yeah,
different needs. I think that's a little bit more all
because
encompassing.
and the thing is, the reason why as a community we've collectively decided special needs is kind of gross is because like there's nothing special about needing like special needs as if I needed to eat 6 pounds of ostrich eggs a day to survive. That's special.
I'm
The fact
sorry.
that I'm in a wheelchair is not special needs. The fact that I have sensory issues, there's nothing special about that. It's actually very, very common. It's predicted that within the next 50 years,
Mhm.
about half of the population will be autistic. So, like, it's the term special needs implies that like it's such a fucking huge deal to accommodate us. Like, oh, they're special needs. They I know that that's not what you meant. I know that you're not
Yeah.
an ableist. You're actually incredibly pro civil rights for the disabled. I
Hmm.
appreciate that about you.
Hmm.
But the term sort of implies that it takes a lot more energy to accommodate us than it really does. And people
I
use
think I
the.
heard this. I heard something. I heard a similar commentary recently. I'm trying to think of who it
There's
was,
a series of
and they had.
commercials made by the chick who played Sue Sylvester in Glee and the chick who played the cheerleader that Sue was sponsoring, the one with Down syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Those two
Okay. Yeah.
actors did a whole series of commercials about like special needs is a fucking stupid term.
No, it was a podcast I was listening to, and they had a term for it. And I really wish I could remember that term, but I don't mind switching that language. It doesn't really matter to me, and I appreciate the fact that you recognize that I'm a not trying to be an asshole, and
I know
b
you're not. You
you
would
have the same
never.
you have the same thought process. Okay, but anyway, okay. So moving on. So
You work in the
I'm gonna say,
alternative education classroom.
y- well, no, because alternative education is like adults who need like GED or okay. Anyway,
Okay,
point is,
like the reason why I say that is because I went to an alt ed high school, which is a high school
mhm,
specifically designed for neurodiverse and mentally ill students.
I have an alternative. I work for an adult transition program. How about that?
All right, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, so anyway, so in this adult transition program, the my individuals range anywhere from low functioning autism spectrum disorder to muscular dystrophy to cerebral palsy to Bell's palsy to all kinds of just different diagnoses. And with that comes a lot of so you begin to equate things that you understand. You kind of start to link things metaphorically together. So I had made a comment about how Fluffy's investigative skills were the equivalent to a child figuring out, or not a child figuring out, but a child realizing that they have muscular dystrophy. If you don't know what muscular dystrophy is, it's when you have atrophy in your muscles or your muscles don't grow because of an atrophy issue. And because of that, children who have muscular dystrophy write poorly, or they may be unable to write entirely, or they use, instead of using like pencils or crayons, they might use an alternative communication device in order, or even a stamp. I've seen students use stamps before to write. And I had actually spoken to Patch, and when and I explained this to Patch, when you work in this field long enough, you begin to equate things because it helps you better. It helps the person who's talking better understand um, both how to approach it, how to talk about it, and how to reason with it. So when I was being quote unquote investigated, or as I'm being quote unquote investigated, I likened that investigation to a child having muscular dystrophy. And I admit it was a poor choice of words, but it was a metaphor that I understood. But I consulted Patch and asked Patch, hey, is this something that this is okay to say? Patch told me that I was dubious, my even despite my explanation. And I said, you know what, that's fair. So I personally retracted my statement, but I left the tweet up, not to sit there and say, like, haha, this is okay, but just as a this is what I said. I retract my statement. I regret what I say. Better, here is a
Personal
better way of saying it.
accountability, basically.
Yeah, personal accountability. I'm not going to lie and say that I never said that. I know for a fact I said that. And it was probably a poor choice of words, even despite my desire to want to understand it better. But so that's where the ableism comment comes from. So it wasn't
Basic,
me trying. Go ahead,
basically,
sorry.
Monstress made a slip up, and
Yeah.
Fluffy likes to make a big deal out of very small mistakes, despite the fact that Monstress openly apologized, admitted to her
Hmm.
faults, and moved on.
Yeah.
Like, an adult should. Meanwhile, it
Um,
takes like 8 or 9 times of people telling Fluffy what you're doing is wrong before they
and
fucking.
And she never so and that also led to her she had made a comment about, how I shouldn't be taken seriously because I'm a former sex worker. I used to work in a BDSM dungeon in LA about 10 years ago, and, she ended up trying to backpedal. We really do be out here. Yes, we really
She
do be
really
out.
do be out here.
So someone needs to take the internet away from that child.
Someone
Nom, nom,
needs.
nom.
Someone needs to. I don't know. Make Fluffy like. Do you need to get laid? Is that why you're so stressed? Or do you need weed? Because I got weed. Like, what's your problem? What's going on? What do you need? What are you not getting? What are you not receiving? What care are you being neglected from?
Dick. She needs dick. She needs a boyfriend. She needs somebody to consume her time with.
Or a girlfriend or a non-binary partner. Like she just I feel like maybe if someone showed her some genuine affection, maybe she wouldn't be. No, I don't want to put that on somebody else. This is her fault. It's not because she hasn't gotten laid. It's because she chooses to be a fucking bitch.
I'm. I would like it if she also got therapy. I want her to. I really want her to sit down, really consider her life choices because the last time she and not the last time, yeah, the last time she and I spoke in BC, I told her she needed to seek therapy
She does need to
because,
seek therapy. She's
oh,
so
huh?
like I one thing I've noticed with a lot of abusive people, like people like you and me go to therapy so we can deal with the people in our lives that refuse to get therapy.
Mm.
Like I genuinely think if she took responsibility for her actions and sought help, this behavior would stop. But let's face it, that's never gonna happen.
So, um, and also as part of this, when Fluffy came into Barrel, she, she shit on Spoken Mind's artwork, and I thought it was really funny, just because, she's claiming that I also shit on her artwork,
No,
which
I
isn't,
shit on her artwork because I'm
yeah,
mean. Because I'm mean. I'm mean to you on purpose, Fluffy. Because you won't go away. I
because
have
you're a
tried
lol
being
cow.
nice. I have tried being patient. I have tried being accommodating and apologizing. And I've tried everything. But you won't go away. So I'm being mean to you now. Because I hate you.
Because I hate you.
I'm going to be an elitist bitch and I'm going to shit on your artwork and I'm going to call you a dunce and I'm going to say that you have no friends and that you're going to die alone and your dead body is going to be eaten by your 37 cats and you're just going to you're not going to produce anything productive for society because I hate you. That's what I really feel. I feel like you don't contribute to society. I feel like you are a drain. You stop breathing my air and taking up my bandwidth.
stop, stop taking up my bandwidth. That's the part I'm most pissed off about, is my bandwidth. Um, I don't hate her. I just wish she had a better hobby. Um,
Like, she doesn't have to die, but if she moved to Mars, I wouldn't be sad.
you'd be okay with that? If she just decided to go the Martian on everybody, you'd be okay with that?
Like, if you just walk into the woods and become a swamp hermit for the rest of your life, I would not object. Just become a swamp hermit. Like, become a hermit.
That's the answer to
That
life.
advice
That's
is
the
for
answer to life.
Slyfox, too. Become a swamp hermit. Forgo all internet and eat mushrooms for the rest of your life.
I have a friend who actually did that, but instead of a swamp hermit, it was a mountain hermit. Um, he's doing really well now. He says it was the best decision he's ever made. Um, I
How
I
long has
mean,
this stream been going? Let me. Almost
it must be
2 hours. Holy
hours.
shit.
Miss Kawaii Pants out here be like, sounds like a good life. And actually, my friend who actually lives up in the mountains, he loves it. He says it was the best decision he ever made, and he like he oh god, what does he do? He has to cut his own firewood. He literally has to make his own food, as in go out, go kill something and eat it and preserve it and things like that.
I respect
And
that.
yeah, and he works on a weed farm. And I was like, you know what? Can't be upset. Can't be upset, dude. This dude's like a high roller now. I was like, I am. I'm kind of jealous. I'm a little jealous, I'll admit. So, I would love it. I love mushrooms. Me and mushrooms are all right. I can't stand the texture of them unless they're cooked. Uh,
Um, I once made a
Honest.
really good mushroom risotto for gumbo, and it was the
Ooh.
best I've ever had in my life. Mushroom
So,
gumbo with sautéed pumpkin, onions,
ooh.
and
Peach, you had me at
tri-tip
pumpkin.
steak. Tri-tip steak for the meat.
That legit sounds amazing.
Come visit me.
Um,
I'll cook for you. Come visit me. Bring your husband.
Actually, I might because we're going up to Yosemite in April, so maybe we'll just stop by Stockton
Oh my
on the
god,
way
please
back.
do. Come visit me. I
Okay.
want my friends to visit. I'm so bored. I left all of my friends in Ohio. I don't have anybody out here except for Jesse's friends who are cool, but they're not my friends. You know what I mean? I don't have
I
any friends
totally
of
get
my
you.
own anymore.
I want to say that the the greatest accomplishment that Fluffy will ever achieve in life was the fact that she was the sperm who made it to the egg. That's it. That is it. That is the only thing
Not
of
true. She also
worth.
finished high school.
All right. Um, I don't really think that's an accomplishment. I think the sperm meeting the egg is kind of a bigger
I
accomplishment.
think finishing high school without committing suicide is an accomplishment because the high school system is fucking garbage.
That is true.
So
I'll
I
agree
will
with you there.
consider her surviving high school and the biggest accomplishment she will ever achieve and contribute to society with.
The funny thing is she likes to say like, "Oh, I'm getting a degree in graphics design or whatever the fuck it is." First of all, let's understand
I
something.
know that. I know that's
Yeah,
no. Jess is just looking at me like that's really dark.
No,
Shy. That's
it's not even about that.
what.
You ever just see a username and hate the person behind it?
Is it another one of those ones with the N word, or is it that like loot all the lowlies guy? Is it the loot all the lowlies guy again?
No. Although I did find him a second time that night.
Oh god.
That was not ideal.
Okay, what's the username? Tell me.
Daddy Longstroke.
No! No!
oh my gosh.
No! We need to report that guy. Report that guy to fucking DE. Report that account. This is sexual harassment. Do not and no one who uses the word daddy is allowed at my wedding. I'm sorry. Like
You know that I'm totally gonna change my username one day just to spite you, just for a day. I'm gonna
no!
do it
Why do you hate me?
because I bully the people I love. That's why
Gently
I bully
bullies each other.
gently bullies each other.
And
Speaking of,
the reason why I don't fight back is because I'm gay for you. I'm hella gay.
yes,
Not as gay as I am for my wife, but I am attracted to you.
that's okay. I totally respect that
Leo and
because
Hellboy have been bullying me about it.
it's funny because you're not the first person to tell me that. There's my one of my former staff members is like, "Monstress, are you gay yet?" I'm like, "No, Umbry, I'm not gay yet." But Umbry is trying so hard to convert me to the gays. I'm pretty sure I've like started to go a little bit hetero flexible because of her. So,
Just
you
let the
know,
fluidity of your sexuality guide you, is
it's
all I'm
totally
gonna
fine.
say.
It's
Like,
totally fine.
all I'm saying is non binary people come in a lot of flavors.
You know, and I've actually, listen, I have seen wonderfully gorgeous non-binary individuals, and I sat there like, and like, I think I'm just questioning my sexuality right now, bitch. All right, maybe I'm not as straight as I think I am.
If your friendship
Holla.
isn't a little bit gay, then is it
Is it
really a
even a friendship?
friendship? Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which is why I consistently
Bye,
insist
just
that Leo and I have a three-way with the moms of different, like, whenever he and I get in a stream on FNGR's channel and there's a pedophile that we have to bully, I always insist that Leo and I threaten to have a three-way with that pedophile's mother. That's like
Gee,
that's always a joke I insist on making, is that like either
I
my
love the
wife and I will have
pettiness.
a three-way with the mom or Leo and I will have a three-way with the
It's
mom.
funny. It's funny because my husband. I've said this before, so Pat or not Patch, Patch. Fluffy tried to accuse me of cheating on my husband because of whatever they want to say. Um, but my husband has frequently when I is that is is that Discord on light mode? What is wrong with you? Are you actually psychopath, Patch? What the fuck? I've never. God damn
No,
it,
I'm a
Patch.
masochist.
God damn it. Anyway, so she tried to accuse me of cheating my husband for whatever reason, but my husband has like these like really quiet followers who really like him on both on my personal Discord and on the fan cord. So every once in a while, when I'm in a when I'm in a VC, I have to have voice activity because I'm always doing something because I got two monitors now, and a light up keyboard. Um, and everyone will be like, "Hi, Monstress's husband," and he'd be like, "Hey, girl," or "What's up?" Like my husband will actively flirt with the people that I'm in chat with, and has like openly expressed desire for people in that chat. And like Fluffy's like, "Ah, you're cheating on your husband." I'm like, bitch, have you sat in a fucking VC with us?
Do
Oh,
you
come on. We're
do you
like,
know what polyamory is? Do you know what open relationships are, Fluffy? Do you know?
no.
With how
With
much
all the
she
guys,
fucking misgenders me, I think she might just be a homophobe and transphobe and just not like,
mhm.
because polyamory is considered like a queer identity.
I did not. My husband is bisexual. Bless him. Unfortunately, we don't have the same taste in men, which is really upsetting. But my husband always goes after these really, 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 really cute, effeminate men, and I'm like, oh, I just want to hug them. Just want to hug them all. We don't think something something. What happened? Hold on.
How do I turn off light mode? I'm tired of people bullying me for it.
Well, then
Here
don't
it
use light
is.
mode. Then don't use light mode. Use
I'm.
psychopath.
I am not okay. Let's get one thing straight. I am schizophrenic delusional, not a psychopath. I have delusional schizophrenia, not psychopathy. It's a completely different condition.
It is my. You know what? I'll admit my research thesis was in psychopathy, so I do know the difference. I will say that much. I'm mostly just saying it because everybody uses the term incorrect.
Right?
So
Like every time I try to sit people down and say psychopathy is not a fucking it's not a colloquial term. It actually has a meaning. You're misusing a medical term. They're always like,
some
but I'm using the colloquial definition. There is no colloquial
real
definition. It's a
definition.
medical term.
Come up with a better term. Someone says, I want to be a heckin' soft anime boy. Dude, live your fucking dream. Be that soft anime boy that you want to be. It's actually funny because I've taken to um I totally respect people's pronouns. I have like my own not definition, but my own verbiage for individuals who are trans. And I have specifically have this because and it's not to like otherize, but I love it because I'm trying to think how to like put it. So okay, so individuals who are F to N.
Wait, how did you know I was using light mode? My Discord doesn't show up on screen.
Oh, because I was looking at some old screenshots and it was light mode, and I was like, motherfucker. And I know it has to be you. Oh, yeah, it is you because your name's on there. It says Patchwork Heart. It was a DM. Or no, it was a DM. It was a private DM. And it says Patchwork Heart, and it has my name, and I know it's Discord. And you're the only one I know who uses Lightbeam on Discord.
Ree!
Whee!
Stop
Um,
bullying me, god damn it.
this is what I do best. Everyone wants the big steppy for Monstress. Um, anyway, so I've taken to using the term BOI, boy, and lady, LADEE, because I I don't know why actually. I feel like I don't know. I started doing it on the fan court in the parlor, and I've extended it to my personal server because I love I just I love individuals who embrace that side of them, who are that, who are those identities, because I feel like they're so not necessarily like brave, but not. I don't know. It's just
You're not trying to trivialize it, but you find people
no.
with strong pride admirable.
Yes, I love people who are super prideful in their identities. I love it. I love
Except for
like
pedophiles.
be
Pedophiles
except
don't
for
deserve to
pedophiles.
have pride. Fuck
Except for
that pride.
pedophiles, maps, zoophiles, necrophiles. Um, but I love when people embrace their identities. I want you guys to be loud. I want you guys to be proud. I'm gonna shout there with you. I'm gonna be there with you. I'm gonna like cheer and rah 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 by your side because I want you to embrace that side of you. I don't ever want you to be afraid. Like I will scream with you. I will quietly scream so you can scream louder. I will be the voice so that you like I will clear the way for you and I will let you in front of me so you can say what you need to say because I fucking love people like that. I love when people are loud about who they are. Like it makes me so fucking happy to see people succeed in that self-actualization. It's such a beautiful thing. Fuck
That's so
yes.
wholesome.
So that's why I differentiate like or that's how I prefer to differentiate F to M and M to F. So I'm just like you deserve to be you. Like everyone deserves to be them, but like I'm just so proud. Yes, be that person. Be that person. Makes me so happy. Sorry, like I feel like such like a proud mother, even though I have no children. I feel like such a proud mother. Yes, be that person. Goals. Y'all could learn something from each other. Someone said, uh, 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 uh.
I get
Who's
it, Sarah. You can hear my Discord notification noises. Stop DMing me. The more you DM me, the more Discord notification noises are going to play. If you don't stop DMing me, it's gonna keep happening. Please, Sarah, chill. For the love of God.
Why must I be so voluptuous? um,
Is the
but
high from your tattoo finally wearing off?
I don't think it's ever gonna wear off, dude. Like, you don't understand. Like, I personally got this tattoo because the Dishonored games have always spoken to me on a really, really deep personal level, which sounds really, really stupid. But I really love the fact that you can choose your morality, you can choose what you use, what you don't use. But so this tattoo that I got, my husband and I have matching tattoos, which is, uh, good straight people. Actually, again, my husband's not straight. He's bi. So I can't even say that. White people. Let's do that. White people. My husband and I have matching tattoos, and it's the mark of the outsider from Dishonored. He has his on his arm. I have mine on my foot. And as like a gift to my husband, I bought him a tattoo today from my favorite parlor, from my tattoo artist. And so he was getting a painting of the outsider tattooed on his arm, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be there for that long, so I'm going to have my mark of the outsider touched up. So I had the whole thing redone, and it's teal, orange, and purple that kind of radiate from it. And then I have the words "an empire" at your feet. And I did that because, listen, your girl here, your girl Monstress, like a fucking goddess. Okay, she is a queen, and I'm gonna dethrone people like Sly. I'm gonna fucking dethrone people like Fluffy, and that's not a threat. That's a promise. So, that the high's never gonna wear. It's just to feed my ego at this point. You're gonna call me a power hungry evil
Zeno,
tyrant and
they,
bitch.
not she. Zeno, they, them pronouns, not she, her.
Uh,
Not a girl. Not... I'm getting misgendered a lot today, mostly by Slyfox, and
Slyfox and Co.
my dysphoria is through the roof right now.
No,
It's
no
like
dysphoria. Can you do me a favor? Can you describe dysphoria for me? Is that like a kosher question to ask? Can you describe
dysphoria is
dysphoria for me?
different for everyone who has
Oh,
it,
okay, that's fair.
but like the general description, medically speaking, is a cognitive dissonance between your neurological gender and your biological attributes that causes intense anguish, distress, or a lack of mental stability. It can sometimes be so severe that it causes like physical pain. Like my
Interesting.
dysphoria is mostly about the sound of my voice and my
Hmm.
genitalia. Since I'm intersex non-binary,
Hmm.
my I don't really have any dysphoria about my breasts. They're just sort of there.
Hmm.
But I'm one of those intersex people whose genitals were altered at birth.
Hmm.
It's part of why I have severe hearing damage. They did not
That's
use anesthetic.
yikes.
um, and a big part of my dysphoria as a non-binary intersex person is like my brain knows that I'm supposed to have something that isn't there. Like I'm supposed to have both. And I only have the one.
Interesting.
And like
Huh.
my brain knows there's something that's supposed to be there that isn't there. I'm
That is
missing something.
wild.
It's very aware. But the fact that it isn't there is agonizing for me. Think of it like phantom
Interesting.
limb syndrome.
You know what? I actually understand that.
And
I
when
will I understand it my own way. But yeah.
and when people say misgender me and then say, "Oh, it's because your voice is so feminine," I become very aware because this is how I sound after vocal training.
Hmm.
I have to force myself to sound like this 24/7.
So
Because when
I
I don't, and when I let go, I sound like this, and I sound even more feminine. So I have to actively force myself to sound deeper
I
and
got
sterner.
you. I got you.
And
It's
I
it's
really
funny.
want to get on testosterone microdosing because they found out that hormone microdosing is the key to treating non-binary dysphoria because it creates
Interesting.
a form of androgyny that
Mm.
that reduces dysphoria symptoms in non-binary people. And since
Hmm.
I have a higher natural estrogen count,
Hmm.
I would have to microdose testosterone. And one of the side effects of that would
Interesting.
be androgenizing my voice. And I really, really want that.
Well,
I've been
how
approved
about?
for it by my therapist.
Hmm.
She literally said the last time we called, like, "Are you on hormones yet? You know, I gave you the approval to go to an informed consent clinic and start." And I'm like, "I'm about to lose my insurance tomorrow. I can't." Like,
Okay.
tomorrow, the 29th, is going to be the last day that I have insurance. So I can't go on hormone therapy because that costs
Yeah.
way too much money. And even if I go to an informed consent clinic,
Hmm.
I can't pay $300 a month for testosterone.
Hmm.
But if I were able to start, like, because I've been on hormone therapy through birth control for the past couple years, that's been
Hmm.
my hormone therapy, is testosterone microdosing through birth control. But
Interesting.
I need a higher dose
Hmm.
so I can start traditional hormone therapy and get to where I need to be. And the only
It's
way I
funny.
can do a higher dose is if I start injections.
Mm, got it. That makes sense. It's funny because I feel like you showed me a picture of you recently during the what did we call it? It was
Gay
Majin Pat
Majin Buu.
Gay Majin Buu. Yes, I saw your picture, and I sat there like, no, NB, NB,
Well, I
NB all
take
the way.
great care to give off an androgynous aesthetic.
Hmm.
I 2/3 of my head is shaved. Uh, I
Oh,
I wear
NB.
compression bras. I
Hold on
wear
1 second.
oversized shirts.
NB is non-binary. Never
Like
mind. Somebody beat me to it. JK. Hmm.
non-binary, NB, NB. That's
NB.
that's that's how that's how that worked. How that evolved.
Hmm.
Um, But I take great care to make myself androgynous. I wear incredibly baggy clothes. I very rarely wear skirts. I don't shave my legs very often. I have very masculine features, and that's on purpose. I intentionally gained weight in order to make my face more androgynous. I make sure to have masculine features, and even though my body
Mm.
is still very feminine, because I have very wide set hips and very large breasts, which is good when you're a sex worker. Um,
Ay,
like
better work. Better work. Wait, what? Better work, NB. There you go. Better work, NB. I had to think about that for a second. I was like, what would be good? NB. Better work, NB.
I mean, I also accept the term bitch because you can be a bitch of
Better
any
work,
gender.
bitch.
Um,
That's true.
like I'm very careful about how I present myself in order to mitigate my dysphoria. I had to go on estrogen because I had part of being intersex is that I have a lot of health problems with my reproductive system because
Hmm.
it was altered when I was born.
Hmm.
So those alterations make it a lot more sensitive.
Hmm.
Uh, I menstruated continuously for 16 weeks with
Jesus
with
Christ.
only one 4-day stop in the first month. it would not let up. It was an incredibly heavy flow. I was in the hospital at one point. It was
Good
dangerous.
lord.
I'm anemic because of it.
Mm.
I lost that much blood. And I had to go on estrogen for it to stop.
Mm.
And during that week and a half that I was on estrogen, I was so violently dysphoric that I had a mental breakdown in the Arby's and started sobbing about like whether or not my wife would still love me after I finished my transition.
Oh my lord.
Like, you'll
But
remember that. It was a disaster. I was a disaster.
um
That's how dysphoria is, because are you familiar with the Harvard neurotransmitter theory?
I am not.
Some endocrinology specialists in Harvard Medical School have this theory that they're currently trying to prove, that
Mm.
states that the reason why transgender people exist is because our brains develop separately from our bodies, unlike cisgendered people whose brains and bodies develop simultaneously. And because of that, our brains tend to have different or incomplete sets of neurotransmitters to receive hormones, hormone receptor transmitters specifically. So a trans man is someone whose body develops with a vagina and breasts,
Mhm.
but their brain develops neurologically masculine. They have more testosterone receptors. So when they hit puberty, they develop dysphoria because their body is producing testosterone that their pituitary gland doesn't recognize. It's just like, why are we producing testosterone through uh or no, why are we producing estrogen when we should be producing testosterone? What's going on here? And the brain gets confused and dysphoria develops. So your brain is like, why are our ovaries producing all of this estrogen in order to encourage reproduction when we're supposed to have testosterone? Where's our ball sack? Where's our phallus?
I'm so
That's where that dysphoria originates from. My
I'm so sorry.
dysphoria
Hold on,
is
really quick, really quick. I just sent you a link. This Twitter, this Twitter thing that I sent you. This is Fluffy at Spoken.
Spoken has a boyfriend.
I know, but am I wrong? But am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
Hello?
Spoken. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh my god.
There we go. There you go, BB.
That's so funny.
I'm
Am I
sorry. Go
but
ahead.
am I
Didn't I mean to cut you off?
No, it's fine. Am I like explaining this? Well, I'll send you the link, but basically
Yeah, send me the link.
the brain's hormone receptors don't match the
Mhm.
body's hormone production system. So the pituitary gland, when puberty starts, it says, okay, let's start producing estrogen, but the body starts producing testosterone. And that's trans girls. That's someone who's born with a
Mm.
phallus, but whose brain is female. The brain is like, we need estrogen, but the body is like, let's make testosterone. So the two just aren't lining up. They're not communicating properly. And the only way to cure that is to transition. There's no
Mhm.
other option. There are trans people who don't have dysphoria, but they have what's known as gender euphoria, where instead of the body being confused when the wrong hormones are produced, there's an overwhelming sense of physical euphoria that happens when the right ones are.
Got it. Okay.
So you
Got
are
it.
either dysphoric or euphoric. Some people are
Got.
both. And those are the three different kinds of trans people.
Interesting.
People who are euphoric don't have to transition. They're much less likely to because
Mhm.
their symptoms aren't as severe as people who are dysphoric. But they sometimes will if for aesthetic purposes or for gender affirmation.
Mhm.
But if someone is trans and they're not transitioning, it's probably because they're euphoric and they have their symptoms under control and they don't really need to transition to affirm their gender. But there are people who exist who are trans who don't require transition therapy in order to function.
Mhm. Interesting. I'd love to get the reading on that just so I um I can visualize better or I can understand better when I read it.
Here it
Also,
is. Harvard Medical School's Between the Gender Lines from the SITN Society. I'm going to also put this in the chat for anyone who wants a little light reading on gender theory. This hasn't been concretely scientifically proven. It's just the ongoing theory, but it's the most popular theory in modern medicine. It's also the one that I like to go to when I'm trying to explain to people how gender works. There is a
Hmm.
more conservative man in Limbo who goes by Bubba. He's very accepting. There's just a lot that he doesn't know about. And
Hmm.
when he met me, he was very confused as to how I could be neither male nor female. So I sat down with him and I gave him
You.
this article, I explained it to him in
Mm.
layman's terms, and he's been very respectful of my identity ever since, because now he understands.
I feel like I, f- I feel like that's like a bunch. It sounds weird. I feel like that's a bunch of extra steps. Um, to just say that sex is like biologically determined and gender is forever fluid. Everybody seems to think that like gender is sex when the two are very separate things because gender is a social construct because it is. Whereas sex is a biological like
But the reason why we need all these
mhm.
extra steps, why we need these water is wet studies, is
Yeah.
that's what these studies are used for. That's the
Mhm.
term in modern medicine, is water is wet studies, is to
I did not know
affirm
that.
it's to affirm the people like me who are trying to fight for our rights. So when people like Slyfox actively try to ignore the science, the more of these articles, these theories, and hard science proving that people are born transgender and they develop based off of their hormones, and that gender is a fluid construct that develops over time as a person grows. It's not a concrete thing that you're born with. It's a
But
neurological
we,
structure. It's not
we know
concrete, it shifts.
we know that people are born trans because literally the shapes of their brains are different. Like so in it. Well, I'll have to find the article. I'll have to find the research article. But research was done a couple years ago to show 2, 3, 4 years ago that showed um, that brain structures in individuals who are trans are the they're the shape of the brain of the sex that they that are yeah I guess of the gender that they want to identify that they need to identify with, not want, need to identify with. um so if you were to take to put it in layman's terms, if you have a circle brain and but you're an oval, that's because you're a circle, not an oval. So if you outwardly appear as an oval, it doesn't matter because your circle or your brain is still a circle, and vice versa.
Yeah,
So
basically. Like,
so I'm not sure why this continues to need to be reaffirmed, because
it's in order
we
to
have
make the fight for civil rights
no no no
easier
I know
for
no no
men.
I understand that. I don't understand why it needs to be explained to other people. I don't know why this is still a conversation we are having in 2020.
Because social
Like
equity requires both societal acceptance and
I
legal
know.
acceptance.
I know. I understand that. I'm not I'm sorry, my questions are rhetorical. Like it means
Like
like
on a
still
personal
a
level, you
conversation.
can't comprehend why some people don't get it yet.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is
that's
exactly
fair.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
For me,
I
the way I see it is people who don't get it yet just either are actively choosing to, or just haven't realized yet that they are ignorant. Like, they're people like Sly actively choose to be ignorant of the development of science
mhm,
and the humanities.
yeah.
People like Bubba are just missing some information, and when you present it to them, they're like, "Oh, well, that wasn't explained to me correctly in high school. I suppose that I wasn't given the right education. Thank you for explaining it to me."
Some people are definitely more open than others.
I
I
think a lot
do
of people like don't realize how progressive a lot of people in the South are.
I really wish that I don't know. I think it's just because I grew up in a big city, in a big county, in a big area, and I've been exposed to it my whole life. So for me, it's like if you're trans, then you're trans.
Like,
If
that's
you're
just
not,
how my
then
brain
you're
is
not. Yeah.
wired. My brain is wired
Yeah.
to have equal amounts estrogen and testosterone.
Yeah,
That's
and I get that. I totally understand that. For me, it's just one of those things that's like you're trans. Okay, then you're trans. And like like it sounds really, I don't know if this sounds stupid, so I apologize if it comes up bad. It's more like your gender is not the only it's not, in my opinion, it's not the most important quality of your character. Like
No, that's not
you are
stupid. My gender
well,
doesn't define me.
thank
It's
you. It
just a
doesn't define
part
you.
of who I am.
Yes.
Like
You
just
are
like my
more than the sum of your
disabilities
parts.
don't define me.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm schizophrenic. Yeah, I have PTSD. I have anxiety disorders. My brain's a little weird. But that's not it, the fact that I'm trans and mentally ill and disabled, they shape my experiences, not
But
who I am.
are you saying that Fluffy is a transphobe and an ableist because they're harassing an individual who is schizophrenic and trans? That's what that sounds like.
And don't forget, I'm also in a wheelchair.
Mm. So an
Not at the
ableist
moment.
trans.
Currently, I'm sitting on an ottoman, but like to get around my town and to like leave the house, 9 times out of 10, I need a mobility device, whether it's a wheelchair or a cane, or if I
Mm-hmm,
have to literally use my grocery cart as a walker because my legs can't support my weight because one of them is incredibly damaged.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Fluffy, by harassing and continuing to perpetuate lies about me, is an ableist and a transphobe. Because transphobia and ableism is when someone discriminates and inhibits the social progress of someone who is trans and disabled based on those facts alone. By misgendering me and by accusing me of being a child abuser by nature of my disabilities, and by nature of my gender, she is discriminating against me and therefore is exactly the thing that she accuses you of being. And also by claiming that Leo can't reclaim slurs as a Hispanic man, she's also racist.
Bruh, dude, I sat there and fucking died when that whole thing. I sat there like, excuse me, because like when when I was a kid, and mind you, this was 20 years ago. When I was a kid, it was super, super, super common for like other kids. Like, it was super common for because I'm half Mexican. I'm Hispanic, but I look white, and it doesn't help that I choose to dye my hair red. But it was super common for the kids in my class, the majority of which were Mexican and other Vietnamese, to call each other mojado, which is wetback in Spanish. Or they would, when they would play tag, they would yell like la migra, or scream about ice. That was such a common thing to do as kids. And I
But
like when
that's
that
okay because they were,
they were literally
children
screaming it
of
to each other.
color. They were allowed to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I would like I I was gonna say I'm a person of color, but I'm not because I look white. I mean, I
Well,
am, like,
I think
ancestrally speaking, I am.
well, if you're
I'm a mixed
ancestrally and culturally in touch with your Hispanic heritage, you're still a woman
mhm,
of color. You're just white passing. The fact that
yeah.
you might look like a white person to other people doesn't erase the fact that you're still a woman of color.
Yes, I agree. I'm also going to acknowledge the fact that as somebody who's white passing, I have more privilege than somebody who I should I'm trying to think about how to phrase this because it's true, it's both true and it's not true in a sense, just because of the area that I live in. So because I'm white passing, I'm afforded opportunities as a white passing woman, but on paper, as a woman of color, I have more opportunities than I would have than if I said than if I said I was Caucasian, if that makes sense.
No,
Because
that
for a long
definitely makes sense.
Yeah, because for a long time over here, um, when we would do testing, if you when you put down your race, it afforded you a specific amount of points that were like added to your score, and that was to ensure fidelity and validity in your testing. So that afforded me more of an opportunity than if I had said I was Caucasian or if I had said I was purely Caucasian. That doesn't work anymore now because they've fixed the fidelity and the validity of the testing. So now, if you say that you're Hispanic, you are considered to be in the same category unless you are an English language learner. then it's a little different, which actually makes sense given the area that I live in. But with that being said, I would prefer to use my voice as somebody who's white passing, who embraces both sides of my heritage to fight for things like civil rights. I've gone to so many protests, so many like pro immigration protests in my area, especially when I was younger. Not so much now, but especially when I was younger, because I have family who immigrated here illegally. I'm second generation on my father's side, like American. So I would prefer to use my voice as a white passing uh, individual
And that's
to
perfectly
benefit.
admirable.
But I don't want it to be admirable though. I just want it to be a thing people do.
No,
But
but that's the sad thing is that the bare minimum in our society is
mhm,
considered like this holy thing. Like, oh,
mhm.
you're such a saint if you meet the bare minimum. You're such a saint if you use people's proper pronouns and this, that, and the other. Like, that's so fucking annoying. But
Dude, I fucking hate it. Not to derail, but I fucking hate it when people are like, and I'm going to use their terminology. Oh my god, I could never work with special needs kids. I'm sitting here like, bitch, what? Like, I'm sorry, you want to run that? I get so like angry when people say shit like that. I'm like, are you saying that my kids like are terrible? Like, what are you trying to insinuate? What do you mean you can't? Oh, well, I would never have the patience. I have more patience for the individuals within my program than I ever do with neurotypical individuals. Because I sit there like, you should know better. My kids, they don't know better. They are physically
accommodating
incapable of knowing
disabled
better.
people is not as hard as anyone thinks it is.
It's really not. And I
Like,
do there is a small extent where like I do have this panic because I was doing research probably about a year ago for when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do my thesis research on. And I was looking at the average lifespan of an adult with a disability, specifically individuals in programs like mine, and the age is like 45. Like that is the average lifespan. And I sat there like so depressed because I was like, my students are such wonderful human beings. They are so kind and empathetic and beautiful souls who, they all they want to do is draw. All they want to do is sing. I got a student who loves Freddie Mercury, who is like rocking out today, listening to some Queen, just these beautiful souls. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, how could you not be able to work with an individual like this? How would you be so unwilling? How could you sit there and say, I don't have the patience?
well, yeah,
Like,
neurodiverse
if
and mentally
fucking
ill kids tend to be more creative because their brains are
mhm.
wired more for like creative problem solving and like creativity in general. The way I like to explain autism to ableds and neurotypicals is uh, our brains are built on a form of logic that focuses on individual expression rather than communal. What's the term where you give in to something in order to fit in?
Social pressure, peer pressure.
Yeah, rather than communal social pressure and surrendering your identity in order to fit the norm.
Hmm.
Autistic brains are wired to ignore the intuition of like societal pressure.
They're
Like,
egocentric.
yeah, it's
They're more me,
not
me, me.
not in the whole like I'm so important way. It's
No,
individual expression is more important to neurodiverse people because our brains are
yeah.
wired so differently.
Hmm.
We're not wired for intuition and for social cues. We're wired for individual expression, which is why a lot of autistic people tend to have far more passionate relationships, I'm noticing. Because we're passion driven. We're not survival driven, we're passion driven.
Hmm. Can I just say that I love how this started off as a Slyfox bashing fest and has become about like being positive about everything he hates?
I do love it. I
I,
really do. I just I mean, there's so I don't understand how one man could hate diversity so much because there's something so beautiful about how different people's bodies and minds can be. Like, have you ever looked at the geometric, like, divine geometry of Arabic art before?
Yes. I was
It
actually just
is
talking about that with actually with one of the tattoo artists today when I was at the parlor that I go to. We were just talking about that.
there is a lotus pattern that's found in a lot of mosques that I have thought about getting a tattoo of just because of how genuinely beautiful the pattern is.
Mhm.
It's just it's hypnotic. It's like a spiral to me. The way that architecture in the Middle East looks because of the influence of math and the sciences on art in the region during like the first 2-3 centuries of the new eon, like it's so phantasmal to me. It's it's ethereal in the way that it's precisely beautiful in a
Mhm.
haunting and almost terrifying way. I love I love how different Arabic art looks from Central Asian art, from South Asian art, from Native American art, from European art, from South American art. Like, different indigenous areas have such drastically different cultures and means of expression and artistic development. Like, and you can see where they've influenced each other. You can see the influence of Norse culture on Celtic culture by looking at knotwork and how the
Mhm.
two styles of knotwork from each individual's religions and formative cultures have influenced each other over time. Or, like, if you look at American Impressionism and how heavily it's influenced by the European Renaissance,
Mhm.
different cultures and different mindsets can influence each other in such beautiful ways, and to reject that diversity is to reject the progress of mankind, in my opinion. And Sly actively rejects both of those things because he lives in this world of stagnation.
I strongly agree with you. When you, I mean, which is really ironic because Sly lives not too far away from me, and he's there acting like the white race is like somehow still the master race. Given the irony of his love of Dora, by the way, that's yeah.
I just
I feel
I don't believe that a master race exists, or I don't think it will until all of humanity is, because you've seen the projections that by the end of the 2000s humanity will be entirely racially ambiguous because of the amount of interracial marriages and the amount of overall general mixed race children will increase over time and over time and over time.
bruh, mixed babies are the cutest fucking babies ever. They're so
In the words of Snow the Product, everybody should have mixed babies.
I love mixed babies so much.
Woke
They
is
are
a really good
so
track. If you haven't listened to K-Flay or Snow the Product, you fucking better. I swear to God.
all right. I'm gonna have to then. I've never heard of that, so I'm
K-Flay
gonna have.
started out as like a local like indie musician. She's incredibly talented. I love her shit. Jesse used to go to her concerts all the time and have a massive crush on her.
I mean, no.
Yo broski. Fluffy likes to say that she has thick skin.
Not as thick as my ass.
Well, hold up now. Well, hold up now. There are children present. Thank you. Um, no, I read that. I was like, doubt.
Doubt.
And just doubt. Oh shit! I forgot. I was supposed to buy fucking Dishonored 2 on Steam. Even though I own it on PlayStation, but my husband was like, I lent the game out. I was like, you motherfucker. I am upset. I am divorcing you. That's my favorite game. How could you? Sorry. A
That's
stream of
fine. We've been on this for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably call it quits, dude.
Yeah, we've
I'm
gone
starting to
way
get tired.
off track of the original subject.
Which is fuck Sly, fuck Fluffy,
Fuck Sly.
y'all bitch.
Sly, like, I legit have screenshots of you defending possession of child porn. You need to stop, buddy.
Just,
No
I
one
just,
believes you. No
I
one
just
believes you.
sit down, smile, go to therapy. Stop threatening children. Doesn't make you an American hero. If you'd like to argue what American hero is, shit fam. I mean, my I mean, by his logic, both my dads are American heroes. So,
Like,
and they actually served in the military.
you know what, Sly? If you really do want to debate whether or not you are guilty of child abuse, meet me at the Riverside Police Department.
I'll drive you. I'll drive you, Sly. I will drive you.
Like
I'll
we
personally
can
go
we
pick you
can
up.
have a debate in a fucking courtroom in front of a judge. Turn yourself in, you fucking child molester.
I'm so sorry. I'm okay. I promise.
Okay, well, I
I
need to
will
call time
you.
of death because it is
Call time of death.
9:46.
Do it. Do it. No balls.
Talk
No balls.
talk to you guys soon. Check out my Patreon, follow Monstress on Twitter. Bye.